Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another Tuesday night edition of Gaming After Dark. I'm your host, Mr. Boom Boom Kaboom. Noof Nukem is in the room. Yes, it is not only one of the few podcasts that goes down on Tuesday nights, but it is also, I think, in my personal opinion, one of the most underrated and underappreciated podcasts on the go right now in terms of the gaming space. And I think many of our fantastic fans of the show or friends of the show, whichever you want to say it, would definitely agree. But first things first, Titan Drago cannot be with us tonight. I think he's got too much stuff on the go, or perhaps he's sick. I'm not really sure. I didn't get that quite straight in the DMs, but either which way, he will not be here tonight. So sorry about that. First, before we introduce my amazing co-panel member, I want to say we finally have our first sponsorship. Tonight's Gaming After Dark episode has been brought to you by Titan Condoms, the extra small sheepskin condom, bringing the condoms back to sense. I couldn't help myself. All right, and let's without any further ado, let's bring in the man himself. Most people just know him as the Mag. Well, he's ready to roll, and tonight we promise we will still bring you another dynamite show. Mag, what's up?
Hey, good evening, everybody. Noof, chat. Let's get this thing going. Man, am I ever excited. Thank God Titan's not here. It's perfect. Yeah, I mean, Tony Maloney's super excited. He's in the wings already, ready to come out. He's just like, oh my God, Titan's not there. And he's already ready to rock. But anyways, guys, we got a hell of a show for you guys tonight. We got a two-man crew here. It's kind of like the Xbox 2, except we're more popular. Right, Rand? Anyhow, guys, let's get into the show, Noof. Let's do it up, man.
Yes, Dizzy Delta in the chat says, yes, this could also be brought to you by Royale Toilet Paper. Yes, indeed. Because Noof Nukem shits himself pretty much every week. I don't know if anybody caught it, but I let one rip on Good Morning Xbox this past Sunday. It was too funny.
No way. I missed it.
Yeah, go to about the 1:13 mark, 1 hour, 13 minutes mark. I ripped one when Axel's talking. It was pretty funny.
Fuck, that's great. Oh, yeah. I miss it because I always catch the show a little bit, usually like around the second half.
Yeah.
And just because Sunday, well, I mean, I'm off of work right now, but like usually Sunday mornings we get ready for work and all that stuff. But like this last Sunday, I was up till like 5 a.m. with the neighbors drinking. Mm-hmm. So like I woke up and I'm like, oh, fuck. Then I looked and I saw Good Morning Xbox. I'm like, oh shit, I click it on. So I missed it. I must have missed the fart. That's fucking, I'm so sad. I gotta go back now. I gotta go back.
You got to go back. But at 1:13, I think Axel tweeted it out on his timeline there, all that stuff. So, but let's quickly acknowledge the chat. First and foremost, our first super chat comes in from one of our biggest and best supporters in Doggy Dog 420. He drops $1.99. Here's to another new fart, fiddly diddly. Well, thank you for that, Mr. Doggy Dog. And Doggy Dog, congratulations on obviously you being named another Retro Renegade. So part of that amazing podcast, which kicks off on Tuesday evenings earlier than this one. So if you're not familiar with it, go check it out sometime. Great group of guys over there just shooting the breeze, having a good time. It's a lot of fun. Axel Gaming, look at that. Speaking of, he is in the chat. What's going on, Axel? And see, you're one of your favorites is there, Mr.
Joe Dunmore.
That's right. Joe Dunmore. All right, good to see you, Joe. Glad you could be here. Casket Repairs in the house. Jeepers, what's going on? Bell Airy. We got Stinking Corpse. What is happening, Stinky? Long time no see. Glad you're doing well. Hope everything's good. We got Nick's in the house, Phantom Kraken hanging out with us. We got the boss himself, the Lethal Bodmoss, Lethal Papa, Mr. Banhammer is in the house. Ryan Galloway is here. What's going on, my good friend Ryan Galloway? Eternal Shaddai. What's happening? Spider-Man 356, Crazy Greek Dude is here. Tony Grasso, Dizzy Delta. What's going on, guys? We got Pong Soul. Masshole is here. Toolman 55, Papa Woody, Boozy the Clown. Wow, lots of great people again tonight. Wow, great to see all of you. So appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys. Raven Narrows here. Timothy Dixon. Yeah, man. Good crew already.
Super chat just came in too, brother.
Absolutely. Mogsy, what's happening? Good to see you. Jeepers, what's going on, Jeepers? And Drawn TJ, he's in the house. He drops $20. Hi, guys. Wouldn't miss the amazing damn show, especially with Mag. LOL, you guys are going to kill it. Well, we try to kill something if I haven't killed the seat cover on my chair already. On a lighter note, guys, or I guess a sadder note before we get into the topics, a huge condolences and a shout out to another fallen brother, fan of the show, and obviously a community member. Some of you may know him, some of you may have not. But Mojo Blues has passed away this week due to complications due to his latest heart surgery. We send our sincerest condolences on behalf of myself, Mag, Titan, and the entire family here, Gaming After Dark. It really, really stinks to hear this news. We've lost so many people in the gaming community over the last few years as another blow. Mojo was on this show, if you guys might recall, a few months back. I know he was looking forward to returning as a guest, and we were definitely looking forward to having him back, but that unfortunately is not to be. It's, I don't even know what to say, man. It hits home. Yeah. You never know. Rest in peace, Mojo Blues. May you play your Xbox and games in the sky, brother. Any words on that, Meg?
Yeah, I talked about it last night on Boom's show. We were talking about it because we all knew him at one point. Actually, Wandering Dutch, who's a panel member on the show with us, is he actually just did a podcast with him pretty recently as well, before this unfortunate incident happened. However, that being said, it was great to actually work with him that time. And I was telling Boom last night on the show that he just kind of fit right in. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people have trouble with this show because not trouble with the show, but I'm saying, like, a lot of the people, you can almost tell that they're almost a little bit intimidated by when you get the three of us going. You know what I mean? And everybody's like really like you could tell some people are kind of taken aback by it. Yeah. But he fit right in, man. It was almost like the four of us were like sitting around having a beer, having a couple laughs. You know what I mean? It was that like very easygoing dude, you know, and everything else. And he will be sorely missed because he was an active member in the community, and he was a great guy. And no console war nonsense and bullshit or anything like that. So it was, it was a sad loss. Now, actually, while I got the floor for just a second here, it's been about a month. We haven't heard from Assassin Lupa.
Yeah.
And I reached out to her about 2 weeks ago, and I sent her a message asking, like I said, hey, just want to do a wellness check, want to see how you're doing and this and that, whatever. I wanted to see what's going on. And this morning, or this afternoon, actually, her husband messaged me. And he said, hey, this is her husband, John. Thank you. That is very kind of you. She is over the worst, and she will be home sometime this week. So that's really good news. And she just sent him. He also sent me another message saying that she wanted to let us know that she misses us all.
Awesome. It's good to hear. Yeah, we were definitely getting concerned if anybody doesn't know, and I won't get into details, but Assassin Lupus had some, fairly serious health problems over the last few years, and it's certainly amazing that she's even able to play games and everything else, and that's part of the reason why you guys find she's up late at night a lot. So
it's a vampire.
Without getting into details, but Lupa's just an amazing member of this community. She's friends to us all, and we miss her very much. We when you're liked in the community, people know when you're absent, and that's a good sign. And as soon as Lupa starts disappearing from chats and from gaming and community game nights, you're like, something's can't be good.
Yeah. So, well, it was nice of her husband to reach out.
It was.
He went through obviously her DMs and stuff and found me there. And then he messaged me back. So that was huge to hear that. Yeah. But I was so happy to hear that she was fine. But she will be back, guys. She will be back. So that's great.
Good.
Mike Mullet's in the house.
What's going on, my brothers? Sorry, I'm a little late. I had to wait for the wife to go to bed.
We're still in the intro, so you're good to go.
So thank you for the invite. And thank you for the update on Lupa.
No worries.
Chris, Peter, and I were actually talking about her after last Thursday's show, and I had no idea she was even in the hospital or anything. We just saw she disappeared, and we didn't see her on Xbox Ultimate or in our chat or playing online, and it was quite concerning. So
I mean, after like the 3 week mark, 4 weeks, I was starting to I'm like, wait a minute, I'm like, let me just see if I can reach out to somebody, anybody. And I did get a hold of a couple of other people, and I don't want to get into all the details, whatever, but I'm just going to say I did reach out to some other people and stuff, and we all kind of like tried to see what we could do and whatever. But anyways, yeah. And he also actually, her husband also reached out to Dreadpool as well. He was just
And
saying
to me.
that,
I just
Oh,
didn't
and
want
you
to
too.
say it. Yeah, she sent me a message, but I didn't want to say anything because I didn't know. So I'm glad you took the floor on that one, just because I didn't want to say anything. You know what I mean? Until we knew.
Yeah. No, he actually said he goes, tell everybody that she misses them. So
Oh,
I figured it was appropriate to say something.
she is such a bright light in this community.
Yeah,
she
man.
really is.
Mm-hmm. Yo, Dreadpool in the chat. What's going on, brother? Check your DMs, bro.
What's up, brother Dread?
Jeepers, Toolman, Eternal Shaddai, Mog Z, Massel, Crispy Rambo. Guys, what is up? Yes, and a surprise guest,
Hey,
Mr. Mike
Mogs.
Mullis from the Next Level, original
Hello.
Next Level Gaming podcast, guys, on Thursday nights. Great friend of the show.
It was even a surprise to me.
Well, we didn't have one lined up this week. Like, not every week we have a guest in advance.
Yeah.
Titan
No,
Dragon was
it's
the
all
last
good.
minute subtraction, and I'm like, you know what? We haven't had you on for a little while. I actually sent someone out, and I sent it out to you. You're one of the first people that I dropped onto. It's like, maybe you'd like
that's
to
awesome.
come back on. So there you are. Well, thank you so much for being here.
I gotta fill in for Titan again. This is the second time.
That's
last
fine.
time
It's
I was
very
here,
easy.
last time I was here, he wasn't here either.
Is that what it is?
Starting to get the idea he didn't like me.
That's right, Titan. If you don't pull your pants up, Mike Mullet might be a permanent member of the show. Oh shit! Well, glad to have you here, Mike.
Glad to be here.
How you been, man? What's been going on? I mean, you've been a busy guy as well.
Man, busy is an understatement. It's been crazy. Life has been crazy. Trying to keep the gaming going though. Just finished what I have got to give so much respect to brother Mag here. Man, Psychonauts 2.
Mm-hmm.
I am. Let me put it this way. I will never watch another Jeff Keighley Video Game Awards show ever again if Psychonauts 2 doesn't get a nod.
Dude,
it needs a nod. Yes.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that game just kept on going.
Oh, dude, it's something else. Like when I was playing it, I didn't realize how big this game was going to be.
You're right.
You know what I mean? And so I get in there, and all of a sudden I get to the hub inside the first area.
Yeah,
with the classrooms and all that. And you're like, in the atrium, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, all right, cool. And then all of a sudden I went outside, and I'm like, what the hell is this? Borderlands? And I'm like, and then all of a sudden it started splitting off into more areas, and this didn't even include the brains, right? Yeah. Going into people's mind, not brains, going into their minds and all this other stuff. And I was just like, wow, this game is massive. And then the level design, the detail, the alcoholic level.
Yes.
Which of course I can identify personally.
I was going to say most of that game was alcoholic level.
Yeah. I mean, it was just crazy. And you're looking at all the different things. And I mean, you're platforming off of like broken gin bottles and all these things. And like you walk by a water fountain, and the water fountain was full of like whiskey, and it was like pouring whiskey out of all these empty bottles. And you're seeing all like the hurt and the pain, like, the pain and the mental trauma that this person had gone through because of his mother's alcoholism. And I'm like, okay, compare that to Ratchet and Clank, where you shoot a disco ball at Dr. Nefarious's face for the 17th time. You cannot compare the two. You cannot. Because it's just, I mean, okay, it's a gorgeous game. Like Ratchet and Clank is a gorgeous game. Amazing production. It's basically Hollywood, right? Yeah. But if you break it down to like what the story's all about, it's the same shit over and over and over and over and over. Like 17.
It's a Ratchet and Clank game.
Exactly. It doesn't really push the envelope or do much new. I mean, like I said, it looks fantastic. It's one of the best looking games on any platform.
I want to play it. I want to get it. It's on my list. It's on my backlog. I watched Peter play it, and I was very impressed with it.
It is.
But to your point, Mag, that Psychonauts 2 just kept coming. And every time you thought you had seen something amazing, the next area was even more. And just some of the things that, some of the places that you went were so, the level design was just so incredible. It's, you have a hard time. You really have a hard time comparing it to another game because there isn't level design in other games like this.
No.
Yes. The thing is that I've completed over 40 games this year. Okay. And
God bless you, man.
yeah, I know it's crazy. I don't even know how, but I did. I completed over 40 games this year, and nothing affected me as much as that game. In terms of actually when you turn it off and you go to bed or you whatever, you're driving around and sometimes it'll just pop in your head and you're just like, wow, that was crazy. You think about all these different things. And then of course, what you do, you start plugging it into your real life, right? You're like, if I actually was an alcoholic or whatever, how would I be affecting my kids?
Yeah.
Right. And that kind of stuff. What video game does that?
Right.
I'm not thinking about the disco ball gun that Ratchet shot. I'm not thinking about that, but I get it. It's just for fun or whatever. Not that everything has to be heavy and heady or whatever, right? But at the same time, the thing is, what we're trying to get at is that if this doesn't get recognized, at least in the category of Game of the Year, if not win Game of the Year, I will be incredibly shocked and disappointed because I can't think of anything that's come close.
No,
nothing.
I can't. And that's. I mean, there's a part of me, and I was talking about because I streamed the finale of it last night on my channel, and during that time, I kept bringing up because a couple people in the chat were we were going back and forth about this. You wonder, on our last show we talked about what the impact of Sony, Microsoft, Epic buying studios and consolidating the industry and whether it was good or bad for the industry and so on and so forth. But what I realized last night, finishing this game, was how different would this game have been without Microsoft's purchasing Double Fine?
Yeah, that's not me. I didn't fart. What's going on?
It's not breaking bread with Dread. It's breaking something else with Dread.
Yeah. Was that Dreadpool? Dreadpool, what are you
I
doing
don't
here?
Can you guys hear me?
We heard something.
We heard, yeah. It was breaking wind
Hey,
with
look at
Dread.
that. Coming in hot with a new logo. Look at that stuff. Breaking
I
bread
know.
with
Look at
Dread.
that. Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah. De Niro made it for me.
Oh,
Very
beautiful.
Yeah, great work, right?
very
Yep.
nice.
Pretty sweet.
It literally looks like a restaurant sign.
Yeah,
It does. Yeah, you're right. It does.
Yeah.
I told him he had free reign. Whatever you want, just make it with Breaking Bread with Dread, however you want. And he was like, he came back with a couple of them. And I was like, they look great. I'll take them all.
Mm.
All right, dude, you know what we're going to do? As soon as I run into a ton of money, which should hopefully be I don't know, by this Friday's lotto. Anyhow, I think we're going to open up a bakery in Florida because, obviously you're down there, right? And plus, I want to go to Florida because it's nice and warm in the winter. We're going to open up a bakery called Breaking Bread with Dread. And that's it.
Works for me. We're going to beat up Panera and all them.
Yeah,
That is a perfect name for a bakery or a restaurant, like a bistro. That is a perfect name.
We have to have bagels too.
Put on his
Well, of course we're gonna have bagels.
80% of Florida is Jewish. We got to
podcast
supply
called,
the bagels, man.
Absolutely.
Uh-huh.
We'll get some lox.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say the lox too, man. I know how to make that. I make it from scratch. I make lox from scratch at home.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Oh,
We'll
now
even make some Baileys for those who know what those are.
Well, Mike, one of the chefs I used to work with, Jewish chef, big Jewish chef. He was like 400-pound
You guys
dude,
hear me?
and he actually showed me how to make.
No, we
lox
don't hear you,
from
Noof.
We hear you.
Okay.
I tell you what, there is nothing. So, and it's funny because they call it a New Yorker, but there is nothing in this world like a salt bagel with a brick of cream cheese, lox, and onion. And it is, it is a staple of Jewish life. It is like having a hot pastrami sandwich on rye.
Dude, I only dated Jewish girls from 16 to 32. I swear to God. So trust me, I know all about it. The ins and outs, so to speak.
How old were they?
Well, they were all over the map.
Dreadpool needs a segment on his podcast called "Games That Give You Yeast Infection."
Who was I having to talk to? Oh, it was on Retro Renegades Tuesday night. I was having to give lessons on Judaism to the crew because they were
Lord.
hitting me with questions.
Heathens.
I was teaching the Goyim all about my faith.
Wow, here you go.
Anyway, guys, officially, like I said, we want to welcome Mike Mullins from the original Next Level Gaming Podcast and Dreadpool back in the house. Good to see you, Dread. Thanks for answering the bat signal, saw you in the chat, and figured, hey, you're always a great guy to have on the show. So thanks for popping by.
Oh, no problem. Thanks for having me. I was actually going to hit you up once I got to the job site. As you can tell, I'm actually at work. I'm trying to stay away from the music so you don't hear any music in the background. But yeah, and I was going to hit you up, and I was like, oh, Mike's on there, so I'll just let it go. So, but yeah, no, it's great.
Hey, the more the merrier. We don't do 4 all that often, but we're at 4 on the floor. Eternal Shaddai dropping $5 in the super chat. He says it's sponsored by Newcomb's toilet paper. It gets rid of those tough to get rid of fanboy scum from the bottom. Oh boy! Yes,
I liked your little logo thing for the advertisement for the show tonight.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
Courtesy of ACS Husky put that one together after last week's conversation.
Nice.
Yeah, too bad he should have replaced the microphone. Just kidding, yes. Titan. Yeah, I think he's scared of Mike. Maybe it's me, but no, he didn't want to be around Mike. That's all it is.
So I don't know.
I'm telling you, it's just twice now.
Yeah, you should have a complex now, Mike.
I know. I got to go back through my tweets and see what I tweeted that would have pissed him off.
Well, in all fairness, Titan didn't know either one of you guys would be here. So yeah.
No, I don't know. I like Titan. No, seriously.
No, we're playing.
Yeah, Titan brings a lot. I gotta tell you guys, the dynamic that you guys have on this show is something that doesn't come along too often.
No.
And Titan is a big piece of that. I mean, he really is.
We get that a lot from blind strangers, chats after the show, and like either DMs or actually on the podcast chats to say like your guys' chemistry and stuff is actually dynamite. So I would agree.
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing is he downplays himself and ups you guys as the comedy, but he's got his moments too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the funny thing. That's why we love him.
Of course he downplays.
But I mean,
I'm sorry, Tony Baloney's like bleeding out of my system today. He keeps poking in there.
Is that who's
seeing that?
He does downplay himself because he's a scumbag and he sucks. He has no comedy in him.
That's the comedy.
Oh my Lord!
I was gonna say, hands up. I never farted at all tonight. Not yet, anyway. So all right. The worst part about it on Sunday when I farted, it was the first time I actually farted with the camera on. So I literally took the microphone off, held it up to my rump, and let one go. And then I think it was Axel was like, "Oh my God, you're gonna have like pink eye or something."
The doctor said it's like Goro farting.
Jesus.
Goro.
At least there was no skid marks on the mic.
No.
Well, how do you know the microphone's black? You wouldn't know.
You would see it in his face when he tasted it.
I did say afterwards that apparently that headset is now my shittiest pair. So, all righty, enough of the poop jokes. Let's talk about some potentially shitty topics. Let's talk about just Shawn Layden over the last little while. He's been kind of coming out of the darkness, and he's been giving it to Gamepass a little bit. And kind of believes that it's not a sustainable model, and that obviously that the big games don't need to be in there. Maybe the smaller ones may benefit more. But I mean, why do you guys think that he seems like? Is it just because he's a former Sony guy, and potentially that might have been one of the reasons he was sort of he says he kind of stepped down. I honestly still think that there was inside pressure for him to move aside because perhaps his way of thinking was not where the company wanted to go. I think Sony over time, gradually, they will try to emulate and copy as much as they can of the Xbox portfolio. Selling all those consoles is fine and dandy, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about making money, and you make money with software, and you make a ton of money with subscriptions. So why do we think if that wasn't true, then why the hell does everybody under the sun started a subscription service ever since Netflix became popular? Tell me that, right?
Yeah,
must be something to it. There must be some money because Disney started and Apple started and Amazon started. Like, I'm pretty much sure everybody's got their own streaming movie platform. So, so why do you guys think Shawn Layden has a little bit of a sort of a grudge or a vendetta with Xbox? And I'll let either one of you guys take the floor on this one. Do you think he's right? Do you think there's any truth?
So I used to really like Shawn Layden because I used to think he was really down to earth. Shawn Layden should stay retired and go, do something else, because I think if you're in that mindset, and Sony is definitely not in that mindset. They haven't done it yet with PS Now, but you sense that it's coming. That the everybody sees what Microsoft is doing, and they see the success, and they're trying to do it on their own. That's just that's why where do you really think things like Luna and Stadia came from? They came from watching Microsoft, and they came from wanting to do something without completely copying them, so they didn't get accused of completely copying them. But let's put it this way: what was the big news today? You guys saw it, right?
Yeah, Titan wasn't coming on the show. What other big news happened today?
What
that trumped everything.
What game is coming to Game Pass in 2 days?
Oh, right, Avengers. Yeah.
Avengers. So
topics.
Right. So obviously Square Enix probably looks at Game Pass and goes, okay, look, Avengers didn't do very well. This is a way to get this game into other people's hands. So obviously they think that it's a viable system. And look, how many years are we going to say this before people understand that Game Pass isn't going anywhere? People have been saying that it's not sustainable for what, 3 years now? Is that how long Game Pass has really been out?
4 years.
4 years now. So for 4 years, people have been saying it's not sustainable. In the meantime, it's sustaining. So it's just
still growing. It's still in its infancy,
and it's still right. It's still growing. We went from 100 games to there's close to 200 games in the system. There's many games that come out, but I think the bulk of the games that are in there haven't rotated out. Some of those games have been in there for years. Somebody is doing okay, and there are developers that have outright said, we get visibility from our game to other platforms. Mike, I can never remember his last name, the developer of Descenders. He said that the PlayStation version of his game kicks up sales because people see people playing it on Game Pass and they want it for themselves, so they buy it. I mean, that's what happens to this game. And so now, Square Enix is on board with some of their stuff. I don't know. This is something that I don't know. I don't know why Shawn Layden felt the need to say something. That's the other piece of this. I don't understand what compelled him to have to look over and say, hey, I got something to say about Microsoft now. I'm not working for Sony anymore, and really nobody listens to me anymore anyway, but I got something to say. I don't understand what compelled him to start running his mouth.
A new job application.
Could be.
But the thing
Portal players in the chat saying it's only 18 million after 4 years. That number sounds awfully wrong, doesn't it?
I think it was reported 18 million at the beginning of this year.
Right.
Yeah, last I heard someone mentioned it was closer to 25 million right now.
Yeah, they didn't actually give a number, but the last official number was, I think, February of this year, and it was 18 million. That was before MLB The Show. That was before Outriders. That was before everything else, like all these indie games that they dropped in the summer and everything else. I don't expect it to be growing that much, especially over the summer, as people, tend to be like outside doing things. COVID restrictions are slowly lifting for a lot of people. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of people are starting to like kind of move out to like more social spaces and whatnot. And look what happened, like the PS Now situation. They lost millions of subscribers when the COVID restrictions started lifting, right? Or it could be just that, or it could be coincidence. Maybe people are going to Game Pass. Who the hell knows? But anyways, I got the mic right now. I might as well say my piece here.
Go at it, man.
Yep.
First of all, Shawn Layden, when he left, first of all, he's not a stupid guy. I mean, you're not the CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment by being dumb. So he obviously knows what he's talking about in terms of business, this and that and the other thing. However, in this particular case, he obviously doesn't have any experience when it comes to the subscription service model. Now, a lot of people like to bring up, the Microsoft's past discretions when it came to like their technology, like for example, the Windows Phone or Zune or that kind of thing, right? Now, shout out to my buddy Jeff Grubb, who was saying today, though, he was actually arguing against it. He says, well, the thing is, they were not the market leader in those particular products. So they were always facing an uphill battle. So when they were trying to get their footing in there, they couldn't because Apple was absolutely crushing that market, right? Apple and Samsung, of course, with the cell phone thing. And of course, Apple with the Zune. Well, obviously not with the Zune, but with the iPod and everything else. So, but the difference here is it's been 4 years and Microsoft is the market leader for gaming subscriptions. So therefore, they're not in that position where they're saying, you know what, let's cut our loss and walk away. They're the market leader right now in that department. And this was what Jeff Grubb was saying today. And I was like, I never thought of it that way. So why would they? And he says they're actually in a very comfortable position because they are leap years ahead of everybody else. Because the only other ones that they have right now that were even comparable to Game Pass, of course, would just be like PS Now, not PS Plus. Okay, PS Plus has got what, like 30 games? They have like all those greatest hits or whatever the hell it is. And then PS Now's a subscription. They got a couple million. They're not even close. Google Stadia, on the other hand, same thing. They're not even close. So therefore, Xbox is actually the market leader in that particular subscription model. And the thing is, you're absolutely right, Noof. You said it yourself. If it wasn't successful, if there wasn't a way to siphon money out the other side, then why is it that there's a Netflix, a Hulu, an HBO Max, a Disney Plus, an Amazon Prime, and then on the music side of things, the Spotify, okay? And now you've got Game Pass, and then you've got Google Stadia, and you've got PS Now. Obviously, it's successful. You think Disney's just going to do that for fun? They put billions into it. And the other thing is people are like, oh, well, it costs billions of dollars. And I'm like, okay, it costs a lot of money to get these things off the ground. Understood. But what you're doing is that you're starting something that has never been done before in this particular field. And that's what people fail to realize is that this has not been done before. This is not the simple old send the game off to a manufacturer. They press the discs, stick them in a box, ship them out everywhere, call it a life. This is not the situation. So they have to build such a huge and solid foundation, just like Netflix did, okay, for years for this thing to get off the ground. Now, the one thing about it is everybody's concerned trolling about Microsoft's money. They're worth $2.7 trillion. They are fine. They are fine. And they're able to sustain this, to keep this going. Now, the thing is, on top of all that, if they invested all this, they made this promise, they've got at least 10 years, maybe even longer, into the future of the content that's going to be coming out on Game Pass. They ain't going anywhere. Okay? It's not like they're going to walk away, wake up one day and go, oh, we're down 1 million subscribers. Cancel it. It's not going to happen. So, like, everybody needs to just calm down, Layden specifically, and, stop putting this. I don't know what his end game is. That's the thing that bothers me. What's the end game here?
Right.
It's not like Sony's calling him back and saying, let's get Layden back in here. No, they've got dance moves over there. They're fine, right? Yeah. And then dance moves is doing what he's doing. Man. They're making a shitload. Dude, they're making a shitload of money. Yeah. Sony's doing very well.
Just quick math, Mag.
Yes.
Let's say so I'm gonna go with because I'm I probably should stop reading the chat. Let's go with the 18 million for a second. Let's just say, all right. Multiply that by $15 a month.
Yeah, and that's another narrative, by the way, Mike. Before you even carry on there, especially a lot of the like the Pegasus Nation clowns talking on Twitter, this and that, and they're like, "Yeah, it's $1. It's $1. It's $1 one fucking
it's $1
time
for 1 month.
1 month, one
For
fucking
1
time
month.
in your entire life. After
And
that,
then you
$15.
start paying $15
Right.
per month.
Right.
Per month.
Yes.
Microsoft makes $270. I'm sorry, I can't even say it without laughing. $270 million a month on Game Pass. And even if they were giving it away for $1 for a little while, that $270 million is going to start at some point. Good Lord.
And how much do these big AAA games cost? Anywhere between 50 and 100 million, sometimes 150 million, right? You're basically paying for a AAA game every month.
Right.
Basically. I know that's not how it works, but I'm just saying, like, in terms of money, that you have to like kind of bring it that way. That like I'm not even it'd be like 2 AAA games a month, right? And eventually it'll get there.
I mean, I have no doubt that Microsoft is not rolling in it over there from Game Pass as of yet, which is why, but that's the whole thing. That's why they've invested so heavy, because they have to have big titles, constant content. Anybody knows that. Netflix has been doing it. I use Netflix because it's the perfect example of, how do you keep growing the business? And exclusive content, at least to the Xbox platforms that Game Pass is available on, is going to be huge, which is why I believe even more so that they might be very heavily invested in one of those major acquisitions down the road here, which wouldn't surprise me if they did go after Warner Brothers or something along that lines, because they will want those titles that people know and love and will want to get that subscription for, even if it's outside of Microsoft's own internal stuff like Halo and whatever.
Let's not forget, too, that they rolled in EA Play. Electronic Arts took their subscription and rolled it into Game Pass. Now, why would you do that if Game Pass was a failure?
Exactly.
And I'm going to ask one more question, and then I'm going to shut up so that Dredd could say something, because Dredd has this problem when I'm on a show with him. I can't get him. He can't speak because I end up talking. I will never understand the consternation and angst that people have. Like, Noof, I remember when you didn't want to have Game Pass, right? You're a physical guy. You didn't believe in it. You didn't want it, but you never actively were against it to you and I don't
wasn't a Game Pass hater,
right?
I always knew what it stood for and knew the values of it. I just preferred to do it because of my own thing.
Absolutely. I will never understand why this bothers people so much. You can go buy your games. Go spend $50, $60 a game. That's wonderful. But for something to bother you to where you have to argue against it, instead of just being, hey, this isn't for me, I'm going this direction. To argue against it and to have to fight people about why Game Pass exists, it boggles my mind. Maybe it's just because I'm not a console warrior, but it just boggles my mind that we're sitting here trying to justify why the thing exists. It make like I'm sorry, Portal player. You're who I'm talking about. I'm sorry. I don't understand why you care about this so much. I don't get it. You're gonna have to explain to me why you care about this so much that it bothers you to a visceral degree. Because I don't understand. I don't understand that. Don't like it. Don't buy it. Don't use it. Buy your games. Play what you want.
Turn the channel.
I do see one thing though at the store level, and I said this before I was even a Game Pass subscriber, and I see it at the store more and more. Even just the other day, I was in my local Walmart, and I couldn't help but notice, and I think it's largely the Game Pass effect in process, that the Xbox selection of games is not anywhere close to the shelf space that PlayStation has. I'm finding it tougher to find games on disc for Xbox, and I'm wondering if that's because the publishers are shipping far less, or they're not even manufacturing them on disc at all because of the fact that most of their stuff's going in Game Pass, and they realize that probably 70 to 80% of the sales or purchases that they're getting are digital through the store or, again, through the Game Pass subscription. So that kind of bothers me because I feel like it's being phased out. It is slowly. Like people say, don't worry, you'll still be able. No, that's not true, man. It's getting harder. And when you do track down some of those games that I would like to have a physical copy of, you're paying more, or you got to friggin' mess around and go to all these different places or try to dig through it online. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a little bit concerned about that. As long as Sony's still pumping out the physical, their publishers are still putting the physical stuff on shelves, and Xbox is dwindling away. Like for me, I don't see that as a good thing. I get it. You got to get with the times, and eventually probably the whole industry goes that way. It's just that one seems to be speeding up that process far more so than the other,
Okay, well, hopefully I can, I've got so many different points in different areas. Hopefully I can get them all across and articulate them, and then wrap around and surmise them at the very end like Crispy Bomb does. Mm-hmm. So, first of all, no one's complaining about big box games. What are those things, right? PC players aren't complaining about it. So I understand on the physical collector side, but there are physical collectors of PC games, right? Mm-hmm. Those people are still collecting the older games, but they're not really complaining about the newer games. Yeah. So it's kind of shelf space that they have to pay for to put their games out there. So there's you got that. You have the physical media that they have to pay for. That cuts into their profits. That cuts into the price of the game. The price is still $50 or 70 or 60, whatever the price is, right? So whatever that price is, when it's digital, they don't lose that, and that's why we had the argument of, if I'm paying $50 for a physical game, why am I paying $50 for a digital game? You didn't have to lose that money.
Yep.
You know what I mean? All you have to do is store that. So there is that fight back again, right? But at the same time, who's going to the stores right now, right? And with this epidemic, just kind of pushed everything more towards the digital end. I mean, are we still buying CDs? Not everybody. I know some people are still going out there buying CDs and vinyl. Who's buying 8-tracks? Nobody. But yet again, that's a different medium. The medium has died out, and that's what's going to happen here. The medium is going to evolve, and the old medium that we're used to is going to die out. Do we still use cassette tapes? Not everybody. Is it a good medium that everybody says, oh, this is top-notch quality? No. But it was what we used to have for portability, So you look at the mini disc player. You look at the the high-definition CDs. They were great for the medium, but they just didn't click. They didn't last. So there's many facets of this that we keep forgetting because we always think about ourselves, what we want, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? We need to speak up and say what we want, because otherwise we're never going to get it. We're never going to get these things. That's why bands alter their music, because the feedback from one album to the next, this isn't the same band that I used to listen to. What the hell is this new album? And what do? They kind of go back, but that's what we want, though. We want our bands to evolve and not be the same album as it was last time. Because how many times people are like, oh, this is the same game as I just bought last year. Another Call of Duty, whoopie-doo, just a new name, new BS, new glitches, new cheaters, whatever. We're still going back to that. Is it evolving? Slowly. But we want some to evolve. And what happens with that? You have Halo, you have Battlefield coming out. So now they're forced to evolve, right? Because now you have competition. Same thing with bands. You want them to evolve, So there's that happy medium that we have to figure out, when is enough for us to push out to the creators, because if I'm making a game, I'm making it the way I want it, right? Because if I'm making a game I don't want to play, what's the point of making that game, right? So if I'm putting my heart and soul in a game that I want to make the way I think I should play it, yes, I should get feedback, because maybe I'm missing something that could make the game that much better, right? We've talked about difficulties. So there's that facet of, should a game be Dark Souls or not? Should there be a slider on our difficulties for people with lesser capabilities, right? Because of either physical or mental or the twitch, we just can't do it fast enough. There's so many different things about that. Now, when you have Game Pass, right, that gives you an option to get into those games and experience them, whether or not you like that game or not. You might have a chance to play that game, and you didn't have to pay nothing for it, right? Theoretically, nothing. $15 if you're out of that anniversary period of buying into it and getting so many months for free. Because after that, it's technically free if we look at it that way. You bought this game, but you're only playing this one game. Or you can rent this game like you do at Blockbuster, like you used to do at Redbox, right? You got GameFly still out there. So you're renting games, but you can't decide on the whim going, you know what? I don't like this game. Now you got to go back to the store, which a lot of those brick and mortars don't exist anymore, or send it back into the mail to get, to get a replacement game. Well, now you're down no time to play anything.
Yeah.
Right. And then you got Game Pass. You know what? This game ain't for me. Whatever. Move on. And then you've already moved on to the next game. How many games do we have that we've played and not liked? Yeah. There's so many of them, right? And in Game Pass, right? What was it? It's a game that never was, right? It was a never was. Well, one of them didn't last longer than Game Pass. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And the other one is catching up to him. Happy birthday, Mooch. I got
a question for you. I'll ask you directly right after I get to a couple of super chats here, because we got one coming in from our good friend Phantom Kraken, who drops $2 and says, "Is Titans Condoms a sustainable business?" And I said, "Well, no, it's a make or break business." And we got another super chat coming in. It's from Bunty.
Hey.
Great topic. First time listening. Bunty, thank you so much. And we hope that you like the show. We also got Nipple Cripple in the chat, who says it's his first time checking out this show. Great name. Can't forget that one, coming in and making a bang. So Nipple Cripple, shout out to you. Glad you could be here. Shout out to Lethal Pop in the chat. He finally gets his band hammer for this show. So look out, guys. If you go off the rails, Lethal Pop is in the house, and he won't take 2 seconds to give you a kick of the ass. Oh, pardon me.
That was great.
That was awesome. Hey, at least it came out the other way.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if it didn't come out of one hole, it came out the other.
Yeah. And just a heads up, Portal Player's in the house, guys, and you know what? He's entitled to his opinion and his thoughts. Sometimes he's right, maybe sometimes he's wrong, but I'm no less or no greater. So all I ask is just anybody in the chat, whether you like them or not, let them have their spiel, as long as they're being respectful to the people on the panel, to the panel hosts, and they're not being in here being like complete trolls and being just assholes, basically. It's okay, man. Just let them have their piece. That's okay. We appreciate all opinions here. Like I said, all that stuff. So
debate is healthy.
It is good. Absolutely.
Exactly. Because that's where you learn from each other and you move on and build up versus tear down. And speaking of tearing down, that's the problem. Is if Game Pass, like Mike said, if it's not for you, then why do you care? Just move on, change the channel, move on to something different. Enjoy what you enjoy, right?
Yeah.
And promote what you enjoy. Don't bash. I mean, we see that in the other console business right now, the Amico. There's people that are bashing it, and it's not even out yet. Yeah, is there time for concern? Whatever. That's your personal business. But you shouldn't be bashing something, whether it's a console, whether it's a game. If it's not for you, it's not for you. Just move on. Why waste the time, right?
Yeah.
And this isn't directed at Portal Console or Portal Player, but it's just just in general.
Dude, it's like the people that bitch about like male strip clubs. Like, I don't want to see naked guys. Then don't fucking go. Like, who's forcing you to go through the door to go look at guys' dicks? No one's asking you to do that.
But they're the guys that are there
past the building.
Yeah, but they're the same guys that are there. They're trying to pick up the horny moms on their way out the door.
That actually is a good move, actually. But anyway, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's the same idea. Like exactly what you're saying, man. If you're not happy with something you don't like, who the fuck cares? Yeah, okay, I don't watch cricket. But like, you don't see me bitching about it on social media. And
Golf is better.
Cricket's stupid. It's like underhit baseball. Blah 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 blah. Like, I don't give a shit. I'm not gonna watch it. You know what I'm saying? And the same thing. If you don't like Game Pass, you don't like Xbox, that's fine. Go right ahead. You don't like PlayStation, go right ahead. No one needs to fucking hear your opinion. I think that the worst thing that ever happened is with the internet is that it gave everybody a voice, and I actually think that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
So we have to wade through
totally.
the bullshit, you know?
Yeah, and my question to you guys was just like when Shawn Layden, right? Like when he left PlayStation or whatever went down there, like he left them really at the height of PlayStation. Like you'd almost think that, you know, he led PS4 to new heights and all sorts of great gaming acquisitions and great games came out underneath his watch. And we've seen a lot of change in PlayStation, whether you want to believe it or not, when Jim Ryan took over. Like a lot of things that they said they were never going to do, they started doing, you know, and obviously when Jim Ryan came in, if anybody noticed now that they started going PC almost as much as Xbox did, they're trying to get their games out there on the PC and, you know, and a lot of these games, like I said, that were normally supposed to be PlayStation 5 only, or somehow now they're becoming cross-platform and going back with the other ones. So like, you kind of have to wonder, like, you know, maybe it was a little pressure put on there. Like maybe, dude, you got to step aside because our direction's a little different than yours. Like, I don't know. I'm not an insider, but it's just kind of funny that there's a lot of shift. And he gets out. I mean, usually when you're on the top of your game, they want to keep you around, don't they not? Like, well, this dude has got us so much success. Let's keep him going. Not, you know, usually it's only when shit starts to go downhill and they go, you know, like the Don Matrick thing, like the reputation of Xbox was quickly going downhill with its fan base and with the industry. And it was like, he's got to go. And then what happened since Phil Spencer come in? Fucking everything's been basically trending in the upward direction, you know? Yeah. So I don't know. Can you answer that? Like, is that part of it? Like he's not a dumb man. Layden's not dumb. He's done some math and he's done figures too, but obviously what works for the goose doesn't always work for the gander. You know, but they've had a different business model like the whole way through, even going back to 360 versus PS3, they've done things differently. So, you know, is that just the way it is, that they're going to just do things differently? And that's why he doesn't think it was going to work for Xbox.
I think that's the way it is. And that's where I was getting to is I was getting into Shawn Layden, Alzheimer man. You know, when you go on vacation, it's one thing when you come back and, you know, you're refreshed because now you want to get back to work so you can relax from your vacation. He's retired. He's got nothing to do, you know, so he's got to keep himself busy, right? So what better way than to keep relevant and getting on Dance with the Stars with Jim, right? So you're going to go there and get some publicity there. So, yeah, I know I'm kind of being shady about it, but I don't care. It's just, I'm just trying to prove some points. He's doing it because he sees what his idea was. I know he sees what Game Pass is doing. You got to see what's going on there. Sony didn't get the Assure servers for anything. They didn't just say, you know what, we'll just put our movies on here. No, they're doing it more than just that. The Azure servers are more than just a movie thing, because obviously we know now that the Sony movies are going to Netflix. So it's about more than that. It's about gaming. Yeah. They've already said that they're doing whatchamacallit. They're moving their games to the whatever that the PlayStation's network is, the Plus.
Oh, I'm sorry. PS Now.
Yeah, the PS Now. So they're moving those games over there. They're moving to PC. I think it's just basically him just getting out there. He knows what he said. It's just stirring up the pot yet again, because it's his vision, not Jim Ryan's vision. Yeah. So he's probably doing a little bit of moves here. He probably has some communication somewhere with somebody inside of Sony, and it's not just one person. I'm sure he's talking with a lot of his colleagues, you know, or ex-colleagues. Yeah. So there's got to be something there. There's a little bit more of a play than just him being an idiot. He's not an idiot. Yeah. You know, so there's something there.
Yeah. Z Black Rider, he's coming in with a heavy opinion of his own. He drops $5 in the super chat. When did everyone become entitled to an opinion? In my world, it takes 10 years of school. It must be some soccer crap. Thanks for that, Z Black Rider. Good to see you in the chat, brother. Lady Foxfire in the house. What's going on? A Turtle Umbra. Cerebral Ball rolling in. What's happening, Cerebral? Good to see you, brother. Yeah. Any further thoughts, guys, before we get away from this topic? I mean, there's not really much here to talk about, but any further thoughts before we move on and get Arnold in the house?
Nope.
Although Dredd, I got to give you bonus points for rolling Amico into this conversation.
Well, you know I got to do that.
I know you do.
Speaking of
It just bothers me. I'm sorry, but it bothers me with the hate against something that you don't like. Okay, if you don't like it, move on. And that's the same thing. It's not just, like I said, it's not just a console. It's not just a game. It's not just a service. You know what I mean? If you don't like it, okay, is it doing you wrong? Okay, speak up about it, but don't be bashing about it. And we're constantly negative. Let's promote the positive stuff, and that's what people forget. We're in the bash part of let's be negative and throw everything under the garbage, under the sink. Let's just get rid of it. But wait a second, all these people did all this stuff, and they were proud of it, regardless whether you like it or not. Somebody else likes it. Let's share our opinions in a positive way and share our interests in our hobbies and let it grow.
And all I can say, people, is Game Pass is here to stay. It is making money for Xbox. It might not be raking in the big bags yet, but it will in time. Don't worry. Trust me. They know what they're doing over there, and they're committed to it. Otherwise, they wouldn't have spent $7+ billion or what have frig they spent on Bethesda. So you ain't spending serious cash like that if you're just like doing this half-assed. I'm sorry. That just does not happen. And expanding your studios from what during the Xbox One from 13 to what is it now? 20, 23, 25, 26. I don't know, something like that.
That's a good question.
They're up there, man. They're closing in.
They were predicting by the end of the year that we'd hit 28, but that doesn't mean anything.
No,
but the thing is, we haven't hit those AAA games yet. And it starts next week, or in a week and a half. You're going to have, 2 weeks today. What the fuck am I talking about? It's Back 4 Blood.
Yep.
Then after that, we roll right into Forza Horizon 5.
Oh gosh, we're almost there.
Everybody
now, are you considering? And I'm not saying this to try to throw any shade on the game, because I actually like the beta and I can't wait for the game myself. Are you considering Back 4 Blood or AAA?
I played the beta and I thought it was AAA to me. I mean, it didn't seem anything different than like Call of Duty or like a Call of Duty Zombies. I mean, it was basically the exact same. I found it to be excellent. My son and Cerebral Paul were playing it actually, and it was fantastic.
I was thinking Left 4 Dead, but that's old PC, kind of stuff. But no, I just it seems like it's a smaller scale game.
Yes.
But I could definitely see, I'm going to play the shit out of it myself.
Oh my God, yes. I'm going to be there all over that. I adored the beta. I thought it was great.
We had a lot of fun playing it. You are, of course, all of you guys are welcome in to roll with us.
We got to do this.
I'm down for that.
So we got Back 4 Blood. We've got Forza Horizon 5. We've got Halo in December. Those are going to be big time. Like Halo is going to be huge. I mean, we don't have to get into all that. We already know what's going on there. And then also, by the way, they added, I don't know if you guys knew this, but they added the Battlefield beta. That the Battlefield 2042 beta is, if you're a Game Pass member, you get to actually play it now.
I believe it's if you're the Game Pass Ultimate member.
Ultimate, Ultimate, yeah.
So let's be a little clear on that one. I'd hate to see somebody go in. Oh, I've got Game Pass, but I can't get in. I believe it's just Ultimate, not standard.
So that's now, right? Because the open beta starts on October 8th. So that's
something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So I heard that today. So those 3 AAA games are coming, and then who knows what announcements they got coming up or whatever. I know that may not move the needle right away. Just because they announce something doesn't mean people all of a sudden start subscribing right away. They're just gonna be like, oh wow. Right, it's going to help for the future, but I don't know, man. I could see it jumping quite a bit in the fall, right? But as for what they're projecting, I don't know. Like, because how Microsoft is, they hide their numbers, right? I mean, it's not that they hide their numbers; they just don't use it as a metric, right? So they don't talk about it. It's like console sales. They're like, well, we don't follow that metric anymore. That's not how we run our business. And people are like, oh, they're afraid. They're not fucking afraid.
That's funny too, though. That PlayStation's been doing the same metrics, but yet people still go after the numbers metric versus the active user metric.
Right. Like it's NPD,
NPD changed their entire metric too. So it's not.
Well, it's because of like this. Let's put it this way. And this is what people understand. Let's just say you walk into a computer store. Guy buys a $500 laptop, but he buys no accessories with it, right? $500 laptop goes out the door. What about the other 5 people that came in behind that guy, but they bought $150 laptops, but then they bought about like $700 worth of accessories and software to go with it? See my point? You can talk about all day about your number, but that's not indicative of the software sales. And to go back to the Nintendo Wii. The Nintendo Wii was notorious for selling hardware. That thing sold like gangbusters. It was one of the top selling consoles of all time, right? I mean, even your grandparents probably owned a Nintendo Wii, for freak's sake.
Dude, there's a Nintendo Wii in the retirement home that I work at.
Exactly. So it was popular. Does popular make it the best console that was out there at the time? It damn well didn't, because I don't think there's a single one of us on this panel that would have said, yeah, I trade my PS3 or my Xbox 360 for the Wii. Not one of us.
Hell no.
Right?
Yeah.
Hell no. Right?
I mean,
So
look
this
at
is
look
the
at
thing that people don't get, right? They don't get that point. They just see these numbers and then they get all excited because they think the numbers is indicative of success, and it's great. Nobody will turn down great numbers. I mean, Xbox wants consoles to sell. They wouldn't make them if they didn't.
Of course.
But at the same time, it's about the software, the subscriptions, all the other little things that they make money of in the ecosystem. And obviously, every time you see, like I said, those profit disclosures and stuff, they're obviously making money somewhere, and they just don't have the glow. I mean, if you know you're always losing, like, okay, well, the other console is selling 3-1 on us, right? What's the point even disclosing it after a while? Like, because it's just kind of like, it's almost like embarrassing. He's not afraid, but why stick it out there knowing that you're already behind? Because the fanboy narrative will take it and run with it and basically make it look like you guys are terrible and nobody wants your console, and that isn't the case.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a work laptop. I have my personal laptop and an old laptop that my daughter uses, right? So that's 3 technically PCs. I've got the PC that I built. I've got the old PC. I've got a whole bunch of older ones that I still have from Windows XP days, right? So I still have those. I even have the first PC I bought. Does that count? No, it doesn't count, because I don't even play those anymore. You know, so that metric is always skewed. You know, yet again, my daughter's on one of those PCs for school. Does my wife use it? No. But it's, yet again, you know, there's 2 users on that one PC. But I have 3 laptops that nobody uses. So yet again, those numbers are always off. You know, you can't use that specific number. You know, and even when you use active users, at least you know that somebody's there actively doing something. So now that is a better idea, because, yeah, I could have 3 accounts. So is it actually going to make a better metric? No, because I'm only going to use 1 account at a time, right? So those numbers are always skewed. It doesn't matter what it is. And I've said it before, when it comes to corporations, Excel, even though it's logic and numbers, it can always be manipulated. You leave something out and something looks better now, or you bring something in and that same thing looks worse. So it just depends on what you're actually using, and how you manipulate it to show what you want to show.
It's all about profitability, and that's it. As long as it's profitable, the numbers really don't matter.
Unless you own stock.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, they do. They do some people in every facet of life. Absolutely. Oh man. So, all right, guys. Let's end this topic and move it along. We got some great people in the chat, including our good friend of the show, the Wise Old Gamer is here. I knew as soon as you start laughing and the Wise Old Gamer is here. Good to see you, man. We got our good friend Iceman LMH is in the show. What's going on? Good to see you here. Who else? HTK jumped into the chat. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. Did I miss anybody? I think I've caught up with most people. Nick's, Lady Foxfire is here. I got the last super chat, so we're good there. Okay. All right.
Not reading it out loud, but Lethal Papa's last comment in the chat is probably the funniest fucking thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Read it out loud because I can't see it.
I think Crap's wife is backing up. Oh boy.
I didn't laugh.
Hey Judah, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Nipple cripple. I love numbers. Obviously 69. I also like to have threesomes with fat ladies. So 188 is great as well. Okay. Dang. All right, guys. Anyway, let's bring in Arnold because we're over that time. We've got a few more topics to get into. Arnold. Oh, by the way, and this was a suggestion made in last week's show, and I forget who made it. I don't know if it was Doggy Dog or someone else. But instead of every single week doing an Ask Arnold, they said maybe rotate it so they can bring in some of the other guys. So, for example, Cletus or Safe House Sam. So I thought it was actually a pretty good idea. That way, you don't have to get sick of a particular segment every single week. We can just rotate it out. So if we do Arnold this week and Safe House and X, and after that. So I think that would be kind of cool. I like the idea. I'm good for it. What do you guys think here and in the chat? Do you guys want to rotate it? Do you want to bring in those other guys?
I think a true talent would be able to switch on the fly.
I was just going to say that.
Motherfucker.
You can have a conversation with herself.
Oh, so we're going to have conversations going back and forth here. That's going to be interesting. Somebody got to come up with these questions, though.
All right, so the first question, if you're ready for it.
So is this for Arnold?
This is for Arnie.
Go ahead.
Okay. Will Titan Drago actually fit in that condom package? Because I'm sure he will keep your kids from getting into another maid when he swallows. But is he reusable?
Well, first of all, I wanted to tell you something that Titan Drago did not disclose. He is the one that modeled that condom, so they're very small in a very tiny package. Okay, and if you buy 2 boxes, you get one free, and you can also send in a coupon to Titan Drago, and he will send you out a little small bottle of his bathtub water. You could use that for lubricant. I don't know what you want to do with it, but all I can say is with the condoms, you may rather put them on your pinky finger and then give your wife a little tickle, because I'm not sure if you're packing any heat, it might not fit your meat, so maybe leave those condoms where it is.
Oh, my misunderstanding. I thought that was his mouth.
Oh my God, there's not a condom in the world big enough to fit Titan Drago's mouth. You'd have to stretch an umbrella, fucking, one of those hot air balloons. That's a great thing. That's a great vehicle for Titan Drago. If he ever has his own racing game, it should be Titan Drago's hot air balloon races.
Oh, okay. My bad. I guess I thought he was going to be the one swallowing.
All right, we got any other questions for Arnold? Or if you want, you can direct them into chat or the panel, and you can say if it's Cletus or Save Us Sam. Well, maybe that's how we'll do it every week. We'll just take 1 or 2 questions and direct them where you want.
I got a question. Safe House Sam, do you have anything to do with Titan Drago's disappearance this evening?
Yeah, man, let me tell you this right here. First of all, I got to address this nipple cripple guy in the chat because he never seen Save As Sam before, right? So I just wanted to say to you, nipple cripple, glad that you can be here, enjoy the show, because you're in for a real fucking treat when Noof Nukem was beating his meat. Actually, Noof Nukem, he just always shitting himself. I'm still recovering from last week. I think my nostril hairs is burned out of my nose. But anyway, what was that other question about Titan Drago?
I just wanted to know if you had anything to do with his disappearance this week.
Yeah, that Drago been running scared. Look, man, every week he does that. He tries to do his own segment. What the fuck is it called in Drago's Corner? And half the fucking time he loses. I mean, the guy, he makes a segment and he loses to everybody. I mean, my God, I didn't even think even Cletus came on here, I think, and gave him a good bitch slap. So I don't know. I mean, he loses to everybody. Like, what we talking about here? Man, Titan Drago, man, he just scared. He knew I was coming out here. And now I might have a couple of goddamn things to say to his ass. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Drago, you want to preach? I teach you how to preach, baby. I know how to get on a rant. Yeah, my rants drop my pants. That's a good day out,
baby. I want to read one in the chat, but I'm afraid to because it's from Wise Old Gamer, and it might.
I saw it too.
I
saw it too.
Mike, go ahead. Mike, go ahead. You read it.
All right, I got it. He said, Titan Drago's missing. Brian Laundrie's missing.
He actually asked, hey, Arnold. He actually asked earlier. He goes, hey,
both
Arnold.
of those guys, I will put them in the closet. I will. They are for my entertainment, for my donkeys. It's what they do. And I've wrapped them up with Titan Drago's condoms, and that's where they are right now. I can still hear Titan Drago gagging in the back corner, but we don't know when he's gagging from because I didn't put a gag on his mouth. So let's leave that to your imagination.
Oh my God. Come on, Chad, hit us up with something, baby. Oh, you got another one from
Steve Black Rider, that's a tepable crispy bomb.
Yeah.
Or terrible crispy bomb.
There it is. I got one from Cerebral Paws. That looks Safe House Sam again. Is Safe House Sam, are you ready to run with us in Back for Blood? We learned in the beta not to let you take it up the rear. That house wasn't safe, the Meg.
Yes, Cerebral Palm, man. I'm ready to go and play that fucking game, baby. I've got my shotgun at the ready, baby. You just put some fire wheels on that wagon of yours, man, because we gonna roll out and we gonna go in and we gonna kick some zombie ass. This is exactly what we're going to do. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it in Dead Rising style, baby. I'm gonna have on one of them banana hammocks, and I'm gonna have 2 giant dildo guns, and I'm gonna smack the shit out of every zombie that ain't giving me queer looks, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
That was great.
All right.
Oh wow.
What? Hey, Cletus, is that a penis between us? What the hell? We had any questions for Cletus or another one for Arnold? We take 1 or 2 more, and then we got to move it along.
Oh, this is kind of. Oh, here we go. We got one from Cletus. Actually, no, Joe Dunmore. He goes, "Whose farts are more powerful, Arnold's, Sam's, or Noof's?"
Man, let me tell you, is that question for me? Who's that
Didn't
question
actually
for?
say, so anybody can actually answer. Whoever's in your head.
Well, he fiddly-diddly. Joe Dunlop, I think I would take this question since you didn't include me in there. Let me tell you, now, normally I'm kind of biased. My farts is a pretty stinky, because I'm always eating some weird shit that nobody even knows what it's called. But honestly, I don't know, man. Like Arnold's farts are kind of like AAA, you know, like they come out just squeaky clean. Serious Sam, well, he fucking pops hemorrhoids every time that he fights. So I don't know, he don't smell that good. But Noof Nukem, my God, I gotta live with that song bitch. He farts all the time. Man, you think it's bad when he shits on the microphone. You should see what he does when the fucking camera is half over here, man. Like, I swear to God, like, you know, his fucking cats, man, I tell you, they goes cross-eyed and they runs out the room when he shits himself.
I got one more for you, and then we're gonna move on.
All
I
right,
guess.
yes, let's move on.
Let's go. Wise old gamer asks, "Hey Cletus, if your cousin had a baby, would it look like you?"
I fucking sure as hell hope not. That don't look like me. I mean, first of all, you know what? That's a sad thing. A baby after about 2 years got more teeth than I do. I think a baby that around 5 years old got more brain cells than I do. And unfortunately, the last time I done a dick measuring contest, I was 35 years old and in grade 7, and I still lost a motherfucker. So I ain't doing that shit no more either. I stick with the pigs, baby.
All right.
Oh shit! All right. Yeah, on Sunday, Noof destroyed his headset farting during the stream. Have I completely lost and bewildered Dreadpool and Mike? They've gone very silent here.
Sorry, I was talking with other people.
Nice.
The boys.
Sorry,
are
I
just
was
like,
distracted about other things. I don't know. It's I love just listening. Sometimes
okay.
I'm telling you, when Arnold comes on and I'm sitting there and I'm watching TV with the wife, I pause what we're watching and I turn up, because I usually have you playing in, lightly so I can hear what's going on, but still pretending that I'm hanging out with my wife. But I turn up and I'm like, all right, you gotta listen. And we just listen. And then I go back to pretending I'm watching TV with my wife. But it's fantastic. I just love listening.
Yeah, what we need is a PC hacker that'll hack Mortal Kombat so we can put your voiceover instead of that other dumbass.
Indeed.
Oh man,
indeed. Yes, that would be fun, man. One of my lifetime goals. That would be great. Get an email from some game industry guy and say, we're going to commission you to do voices or something for some part of the game. But I don't know. But then apparently I think you got to be like the Voice Actors Guild or some shit. So I don't know.
Yes, you do.
No, well.
So yeah, so something else to consider. But anyway, that would be pretty damn cool though. So speaking of great voice actors, L Train, who was on our show last year, he's a good guy. Got to get him back on the show too. By the way, he does some amazing voices, man. You got to go check him out.
I can't wait to play the game.
Thing, yeah.
Yeah.
He's in a game, so I can't wait to play that when that comes out.
L Train is in a game.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he got a contract
got hired
for
on.
Game Voice. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
damn.
actually doing something. Like, I mean, not that he wasn't before, but I mean, like, he's actually like moving ahead with his career. You know what I mean?
Good for him.
Good.
Yeah, he got approached by an indie dev, and it was right around the time that you guys had him on.
I think it was the doctor. Yes, how was the rotate? He said my suggestion was to have one. I loved it though. Well, it's a little bit different trying to slip in and out of different characters all within a range of some time and still try to come up with a clever answer, I guess you could say. So a little more challenging. Thanks, Dreadpool.
That's a different type of adult show.
No doubt. Oh my god. All right. That's how I confuse my wife. That's why she stayed with me so long. She thinks I'm different guys from night to night. Gonna whisper in your ear, baby. You know, I just give her the goofy. It makes her laugh.
Hey, babe, do you mind putting on this blue wig or this blonde wig or this other wig? No, you know, if I'm gonna do that, why don't you do a different voice?
Yeah, you just talk to me in different voices. And then she rolls over on her
lights off.
She's face down, and I do the golly gee whiz, that's quite the bottom you got on you, dear. All right, let's move along, shall we? All right. Next topic of the evening is this one's more VR related, and it's about Resident Evil 4 coming to Oculus VR. Yes. I'm not sure how many other things. I know Meg and I, since we are VR users, are very excited about it. Resident Evil 7 proved that Resident Evil in VR could be done well. Now, this is the different side of the coin because we know that Resident Evil 4 was done in third person. I'm not sure. I think they're keeping it in third person or no.
No, it's in first person.
Oh, right. It's first person.
And it's developed specifically for Oculus Quest 2.
Specifically. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so great facts right there is coming out from Mag. Well, let's start with you on that one, Mag. I know I'm damn well excited about it. I can't wait to, I just think the game lends itself well for VR, and I can't wait to see what they're going to do with it. I will buy it on day one. Another great reason to kind of keep my Oculus kicking around. So how about you, man? How excited are you for it? And do you think it's the kind of game that might potentially start drumming up sales or moving VR in that direction?
Yeah, I could see that. However, there is still the technical limitation, right? So you are dealing with something that the CPU is built and the GPU are built right into the headset itself. So obviously the hardware is going to be very limiting at one point. However, if you do have a gaming PC, the beauty of the Oculus Quest 2 is that you can actually tether it wirelessly to the PC and play any of the PC VR games. That is a monster move by Oculus. Right. So now instead of being like, I know guys who have like these $1,000, $1,500 VR headsets, whatever, but you're stuck to a fucking chair. You know what I'm saying? Like you're sitting at a desk. So fucking wise old gamer. Always when I'm talking, he's got to say shit. So the thing is, you're still tethered to cords and everything else, whatever. But the great thing is that with the Oculus Quest 2 specifically, is that, I mean, even the Quest 1, you could tether it wirelessly to your PC if you have a gaming PC powerful enough to run VR games, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So that's great there. So yes, I think what they need to do is they need to advertise that a hell of a lot more with that system in order to get more people interested and onto it. I mean, I know it's doing very well, and it's actually right now, because of its versatility and everything else, it's actually considered the best VR headset on the market. And it's not because it's the most powerful. It is saying because of its versatility, right? Now, however, with this game, getting to Resident Evil 4, which they said was specifically designed for the Oculus Quest 2, it looks great. It looks like fun. Obviously, it's not going to be like, mind-bending graphics or anything like that, right? However, once you're in those worlds, you don't even really notice that, because you feel so enveloped into the environment that you're in. Like, for example, I've been playing what the hell is that game? The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners on Oculus Quest 2.
Mhm.
It is fantastic. And it basically looks like exactly the same as Resident Evil 4, like graphics wise, all that kind of stuff, right? And the thing is, you're not sitting there going, oh, well, it's not as good as a Series X or a PS5 or a PC. But once you're in there, it doesn't matter because you're so fucking terrified to turn around to find a zombie like right up your ass, right?
Mhm.
So it's really scary, right? So anyway, it's great. So that's what I'm thinking. This Resident Evil 4 seems to be a little bit more fast paced than the Saints and Sinners game. They obviously tailored it specifically for first person, so that's the only way that you're going to be able to do that, right? Because I can't imagine trying to manipulate a third person character in VR. It'd be ridiculous. They redid all the puzzles and stuff like that. I think there's a couple of like fan favorite puzzles are back. However, they seem to add a lot more that seem to be more specifically attuned to VR, right? So that you could use your hands, you could turn cranks, you can move around puzzle pieces and all that kind of stuff to create an image and unlock this gate or something, whatever, right? I mean, I know some of those were in the game, but they've obviously tailored more of it towards for this VR experience. It looks like a hell of a lot of fun. I'm in day one. I don't know what else to say, really. I just hope it really doesn't scare the living shit out of me. There's no way I would be able to play Resident Evil 7 in VR. I don't know how people did that. I almost died playing that game just on my TV. Like, can you imagine being standing there and then the chick at the beginning of the game, she's right there and she stabs you in the hand and like I would fucking die. Right? It'd be crazy.
I tried the demo for Resident Evil 7. Remember when I first got it because it was on like the disc, but
right?
It was PSVR and it was just called the kitchen demo, right?
Yeah.
And even that was trippy. Like she comes out with a knife and then like, she gets up behind you and you can hear her in the headset and she puts her hands around your face and you see this head roll across the floor and it's just like exactly like you're sitting there. It's like, oh my God. Even my friend who came over to try VR for the first time, he's like, yeah, that's on some next level trippy shit right there. Like,
yeah, no, that's too much. Now,
I can't wait to get it now. Between the head rolling, you talking about cranking something? I don't know about that, but I'm sure Noof would be into that one.
I'm in day one, and it's October 21st, so it's only like 3 weeks away, man. So that's awesome.
So Mike and Dread, which one of you guys have either one of you guys have an Oculus Quest 2?
I do not.
I want one.
My son
Anybody
does.
wants to gift me one, I'll take it.
They went up in price too, Mag. Did you see that?
What's that? Say that again.
Those headsets went up in price. I think the base model now is like $450 Canadian.
Oh, did it? Well, I didn't pay attention because I bought mine day one.
Yeah,
so
I got mine.
The price was good.
Week. Yeah, I know they've gone up. Same thing does Arcade 1-Up games. When the Arcade 1-Ups first come out, like Pac-Man and Space Invaders, they were $300 and something Canadian. They're now $599. There's no way in hell.
I don't know what that's all
Pac-Man.
about. I don't know.
It's because everybody started playing video games last year with COVID. Because all the retro stores around my area, they were selling out of consoles. I've never seen it like that. I used to walk into retro stores and they'd have like retro consoles like on stacks of them in the cabinets. And now you go in there now and you can't find any. It's like, what the hell?
Could it be the silicone shortage though? Maybe?
Well, there's that and supply chain shortages and stuff like that. It is definitely.
Yeah, that would have a lot to do with it. I mean, you would think Facebook would be able to like subsidize. Well, for example, like it's not really off topic. Speaking of the shortage, I bought a Tesla in the first week of July. Guess what? I still don't have it. I'm still waiting for my car. 3 months. Where the hell is it?
That's when you know dedication. He bought a Tesla so he could play a game on it.
Yeah. I'm going to see if that can work. Like I want to try it. I want to see if that can work. I mean, why wouldn't it work?
Yeah.
But anyways,
no, they said that you could actually use the steering wheel. There's certain games you can play on it, literally on that screen.
I'll do it on the highway.
Yeah, there you go.
But anyways, the thing is, the Oculus, I bought it day one, and it was cheap. I couldn't believe it. What was it, Noof? Like $299?
$349, something like that.
$349,
I only had you got the base model or you got the big one?
No. I got the 64 gig one because I still haven't filled it. Like, I mean, it's been what, like a year, 2 years now that I've had the Quest 2? No, a year. It came out last year. I still have like 30 gigs because the VR games aren't big, right? They're maybe like 2 gigs, 2.8 gigs. How many fucking games are you going to buy for VR, right? Like you'd have to buy 30 games to fill up a 64 gig hard drive. So there really is no point. So like I just bought the 64 gig one. I traded in the Oculus Quest 1 and I basically got this for like $50 or something, or $100, whatever it was. So yeah, so I didn't realize they went up in price. Anyway, sorry, you guys continue.
Well, speaking of retro games, Mike and I actually went to one in Easton, and this guy had everything loaded. He was still selling, and this was July. So, and then in the back, he had a whole bunch of arcades.
Oh, he had an
huge.
Oh my God, he had a warehouse basically full of arcade games. It was insane.
And they were playable. And then he had in the back section, I was able to scope out. He had Jurassic Park he was working on. He had to get like a replacement screen for that one. We ended up talking to him for a while. And that one there, with that experience, that alone, Mike knows, that was so surreal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Most definitely. Until he tried to overcharge me for a Dreamcast game, and I walked out of the store.
That was the funny part, because he actually said he would ship us literally because who we were. He found out who we were, which was the weird part. He said, "Oh, yeah, I've heard of you." And I was like, "What?" And he said he would never ship outside of the state, but for us, he would do that. So I don't know if he was just trying to get that sale or not, but it was like so weird. But yet again, people are in there buying stuff. There was a few other people with us that were in there, and they bought like $60, $100 worth of games, and then getting some games for free on top of that. And I mean, he made some money off of the crew that was there.
Yeah.
So yeah, retro is definitely an in thing, even though it's not a hardcore thing, but it's still an in thing, and it's getting bigger and bigger because with the outages, you could play the game. You don't have to worry about it. You just pop it onto the TV and you play. You don't have to worry about nothing.
Nice.
Well, there's something also pure about retro gaming, and I think this is something that people are starting to really get about. We talk about modern games and how broken they are, and we've talked about Outriders and Cyberpunk and all these big games, Halo Infinite coming in pieces, and that didn't happen back then. You paid $50, you bought a game, you brought the disc home, you put it in. What you bought is what you got, period. Yeah. And I think a lot of people are starting to move in this direction so that they can experience some of the things that some of us older guys experienced growing up. I mean, right now, you cannot collect Sega Saturn games. The pricing is out of this world. I held on to my Saturn collection, and I'm glad I did, because good grief, some of the price. And I mean, there's games out there that are $1,300, $1,400, $1,500, and it's because people are starting to collect, because they're starting to get this renaissance that it's hard to explain. But I think once people start seeing it and then bank it up against a lot of these games that come out, like I said, broken or needing patches, and they're 800 gigs on day one you have to download, and times were simpler then.
Speaking of retro, guys, did the TurboGrafx Classic ever become widely available? Because it was supposed to release right on the verge of when COVID kind of shut everything down, and manufacturing and shipping was delayed. And I never really did see people pick one up. I know I was looking forward to it because that was one of the 16-bit consoles I never actually owned, and I actually wanted to pick one up. So did anybody ever see them in stores, like openly available, or is it an online only thing? Last I saw, you had to get them like out of China or something like that.
No, you can get them on Amazon.
Yeah, I haven't
They're
been into a
expensive on
physical
Amazon.
store in like
they are
a
$250.
year and a half.
Yeah, I'm not paying $250.
Yeah, I don't go to the Mark Brothers stores. I stay away from those guys. I can't stand going in there.
Yeah. So they're right now. They're just having issues again, like a lot of other places. They're having trouble building this thing. A lot of these smaller companies that are trying to, now Konami's not a small company, but they're the ones making the TurboGrafx, but you need to find a place to manufacture them. You need a chipset. And if you want to see a case study in what it's like to try to launch a new product and all of this crap going on, talk to my friend Tommy Tallarico, who is having a hell of a time trying to get his console out the door, and he's not the only one. This is the fact that we can't get our hands on Xbox and PlayStations because of all this. So, so the TurboGrafx Mini, I don't know when it's ever going to be like really widely available. And right now, I think you have to just kind of go on Amazon and try your luck.
It's a conspiracy. That's what it is.
Yeah, and the Amico has it been officially delayed again? Is that correct?
Oh yeah,
no?
Yeah. It was
October, right?
It was supposed to be October 10th, and the truth of the matter is, it may not be out this year. Yeah. If I had my guess, they're probably looking at spring next year now.
You know what the funny thing is, though, amidst all this mess, that Atari VSX or whatever the hell it is kind of stealth launched and came out. People were buying it. I was like, what the heck?
Yeah,
I never saw an ad or nothing. And people it just came in the mail.
No, the Poly Mega came out to certain people. There's the Commodore 64 Mini is out. I mean, they're slowly getting out there, but it's hard. It's hard to launch something in this environment.
Yeah. And you notice what Nintendo did? They launched Nintendo 64 unofficially without a console.
Right.
So yet again, that's that whole physical versus digital, right? Because even where I'm working, right, they're shutting down certain locations because they can't get the product in for that location to open, right? So they're shutting down other locations for the work that I'm doing, and I have to come back in January. So I'm looking at being out of work in the next month. You know what I mean? And this is after all this time, we're still having issues bringing product in. So, I'm looking at trying to figure out what to do for the next 2 months, because nothing's going to start until January. And then when it does, they're expecting to be ramping up, or I'm going to be so busy I might not be able to do any podcasting or even gaming for a while because I'll be like a zombie. But that's how this economy is going right now. You know what I mean? So everybody complaining, oh well, this guy is this or that guy is that, or how come this? Well, you don't know. I mean, you brought up Polymega, right? They were no contact with OEBP. I can never say it. But they were in no contact with them for months, and he was like freaking out. Like, all of a sudden he got a thing saying, "Yeah, you'll be getting your product in soon." But it was like for nothing. Like, what's going on? And he got it. He was able to play and love it. But that was the other thing, that not everybody got a chance to get it.
That's a company. Well, that's a company that lost their credit. I mean, they literally lost their line of credit at one point.
And we're busy worrying, not we, but others are busy worrying about multi-billion-dollar software company.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Software. What is Nintendo doing? Software, right? The hardware is there to promote the software. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on, and that's why we need yet again. I'm going to go back on it. Promote, not destroy.
Yeah.
There you go.
If there's a problem, speak up, but don't be bashing just to bash.
Our conversations have definitely kind of gone over the board tonight, haven't they?
Yeah,
it starts with like a question, man. And then it goes off in 3 or 4 different directions. Sort of.
It is what it is.
It is.
I'm in a scroll mood.
It's what happens when you invite old men to your show.
Yeah, especially old men like Dreadpool, not like us, young bucks.
Was I eating cereal?
Wait a second. Middle-aged
Dreadpool.
Middle age? What are you talking about? Middle age? Shouldn't it be old age by now?
It's not middle age. It's mag. Thank you very much. And
you mean mag? No.
Yeah, well, that's a
Yeah,
horrible thing.
no, it's all about perspective. Cerebral Paul, puts in, he says, he's worried sometimes about his next meal and things like that. Like, it's sometimes we make fuss over stuff that really is not even worth fussing over. Stuff will come out in due time, but COVID's hit people hard, man. And from developers to publishers, certainly manufacturing. I know that sporting gear, every asset or every business I basically know, and this is a problem on our own countries, and this is something our own governments and people within our countries need to start waking up and start realizing. Can we not produce more shit in the good old US of A and up here in Canada? Do we not have the resources, or is it just that bad because labor costs are too high? Is that what it is? Because
Labor cost, dude.
Labor cost.
And you know what, by the way, guys, be prepared. They're already putting down the pillow just before they push us off the cliff, because you guys hear what's going on in China right now with the power outages and shortages?
No.
Oh, yeah, you should check this shit out. Look it up after the show or tomorrow, whatever. China's having some massive cross-country power shortages, and they're not able to run their factories and their manufacturing plants and all kinds of other stuff. They're saying it's an actual, huge energy crisis that's going on in China right now.
Wow.
That's going to affect everything, because somebody in China makes $5 a fucking day, okay, to work 14 hours to put together your iPhone, okay, or your Xbox, or your PlayStation, or your Samsung Galaxy, whatever the fuck, right? And that you're not going to get any of that stuff. The thing is, and everybody says people say these things like, buy Canadian, buy American. Are you out of your fucking mind? You know how much those people make? $40 fucking dollars an hour. Your iPhone would cost you $12,000. And I'm not even kidding. They would literally lose their shirts. Okay, they would literally lose their shirts, or they're going to charge you $12,000 for an iPhone, or it'll be $10,000 for an Xbox, or $10,000 for a PlayStation. That's what it would cost if you actually change around the pricing in terms of labor cost. It is completely out of control. So what they need to do is they need to move out of China and go to some of these other countries. You know what
Mexico.
I mean? But I mean, it's so sad that I'm saying that.
You mean like diversification?
Dude, it's so sad that I'm saying that, because I always feel like we're taking advantage of people from these other countries and be like, oh, get these other people to make my shit for me for cheap, just so I can sit on my ass and, scroll left and scroll right. You know what I mean? But it's kind of not fair to those people. That's
what keeps their country's infrastructure going, because that's probably what 80-90% of what their business is manufacturing. So
right.
If they stop doing that, then all of a sudden they would be crippled. As bad as it is, and the slave labor, as you call it, or not paid properly, they're happy because that's what keeps their economies going, is employing that many people, and they have some of the biggest populations in the world. It's either $5 an hour or out on the street and begging for change. So,
but dude, it's no, not $5 an hour, dude. Like 5 hours, $5 a day.
Probably $5 a day.
That's how you can get an iPhone for $2,000. I mean, I know you get them in plans and all that bullshit. I understand that. Obviously, I do the same thing. But if you would actually just walk into a store and say, I'm going to buy this iPhone, or I'm going to buy this Samsung S20, whatever the hell, this and that, they're still like $1,500. Sometimes more, right? So imagine what it would cost by some guy. What's that?
I was going to say, it costs money to ship it over here. What did you expect? A $40 iPhone?
Yeah, no, I know. But what I'm saying is, if you were to make it here for someone who's making $40 an hour in a tool and die industry or whatever, right? You can't do it. It's impossible. And they're selling it for that price now. Imagine what would happen then, right? So that affects the video game industry. Yeah, it affects it deeply, because I know that people are talking about moving their products to Vietnam, to the Philippines, things like that. All good moves. I'm in for all of that. But I mean, hey,
that's going to take time. That's going to take time.
It's not like a factory sprouts up like a bouncy castle. You know what I mean? You don't just put a hose in it and it just appears. It takes years and years and years, and training, by the way. So Infinite said in the chat, he goes, it could take 10 years.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
So
get this
expect
one.
a lot of shortages coming this fall, and especially 2022. If you don't have your tech now, you're fucked. That's all I'm telling you.
Exactly. And then that's the thing. Like you said, the VR is going up in price. It's stuff getting in here is going to increase because of the rarity of getting it in here, right? I have a product that I use, and one of the factories that makes it is the only factory that makes that one chip that goes into that product and a couple other products. Guess what? That factory shut down. We still have no answer as to how to get that chip made from somebody else.
That's why I actually
and that's and that's going to take years. And that's the whole thing. It's going to take years for another factory to get the tooling to get all that stuff. I mean, tooling doesn't take 2 days to put together.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Depending on the tooling, and that's where all the money is. That's why, like with the Amico, having issues, that part of that is the tooling. You know what I mean? Xbox was already working on the One X, right? And then they said, hey, look, we're coming out with another console. Well, they still were phasing out the series, the One X and then the One S, but they were phasing it out slowly because the fact that they still had contracts going there. Once those contracts ended, they had to retool. Go ahead.
Let me ask you guys this. Do you think it's possible that the Xbox Series consoles and the PlayStation 5 see a price increase perhaps sometime next year because other electronics have seen it? Why would these guys be exempt? They're obviously going to have those same shipping increases and product demand. And of course, the friggin' right now, the demand is through the roof for these things. People can't get
not
them
on the
fast
Microsoft
enough.
side. I don't see Microsoft doing it. Microsoft will subsidize it.
They'll eat that cost.
They'll eat the cost on that. They ate the cost on the 360. They'll eat the cost on this. And of course, this cost is not anywhere near like the 360 debacle, that whole situation with the Red Ring of Death.
Right.
They will eat that as an almost $3 trillion company. They'd rather eat that cost and have people in the ecosystem that will pay them regularly, like with Gamepass or with just software sales in general, as they take 30% even from third party, right? So they'd rather take that thing. Now, Sony, on the other hand, I don't know. But the thing is, I think Sony would be forced to eat it as well because the competition will be eating it. Right. So they're going to have to follow suit because otherwise they'll be fucking dead. Can you imagine? You remember the PS3 era? Remember the PS3 was like $500?
All depends because, Meg, if you recall, here in Canada, when PS4 and Xbox One launched, outside of the fact that they launched Xbox was more because of the Kinect. But once they removed the Kinect from the box and they compete at price for price up here in Canada, guess what happened about 6 or 7 months after the PlayStation? PlayStation put their console at $50 more in Canada. It was $50 more than the Xbox One. Oh, I remember it because I remember buying my first PlayStation 4 up here, and it was right on par with the Xbox One price.
Yeah,
and then,
you know what? Yeah,
about a year later, they put it up. Microsoft didn't increase, and of course, Sony used the whole. It was the currency?
Yeah, it was the bullshit with the currency. Like
right?
we get screwed like that all the time. You go to like a Hallmark to go buy a fucking card, like a birthday card, right?
Yeah.
And in the back, Noof, you know this.
Yeah.
On the back it says US $2.99, Canadian $6.99, and I'm like, that doesn't even add up because I sit there and you do the math and you do the currency exchange, and I'm like, that's like fucking $4. And these cocksuckers have been they go $6.99, and I'm like, so you're just robbing Canadians another $3 off the top.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what that Sony was doing with the PlayStation 4. You're right, Noof. I forgot about that. It's amazing. I totally forgot about it.
They said, due to the economic circumstances, we have no choice but to put up the console. And then they sold her, and it was like that the rest of the gen. PS4 cost it more than the Xbox Ones.
Well, don't forget though, the PS4 was supposed to be $500, but because when they found out what the price was, they changed it down to $400.
They were packed with the camera as well.
Yeah. Yep. And they got rid of the camera, dropped it down, and now yet again, because the supply and demand, the demand was there, so they said, well, because of this is why we have to raise it. And guess what? Everybody bought it, and they still bought it. And that's part of the issue, right? Are we going to fight with, when it comes to that, Xbox going to do it? I don't see them doing it. I see them trying to, to try to fight for that one number one spot in their version. So I see them doing that. PlayStation, I could see an uprising if they do it too. But right now, there's people paying $1,000 for a PS5. So is it really going to be an issue? Probably not, right? And Nintendo, they eat anything, right? We got a new Nintendo coming out, and they're paying $50 more, and they didn't even drop the old one down.
Yeah.
Right. So will the uprising be there? No.
Well, and Sony, remember too, Sony did redesign their PS5 to try to cut costs. So they understand where the market is too, and they're trying to do what they need to do to at least not. I don't think anybody's trying to subsidize right now, and I'm not sure Sony can, and I'm not to the extent that they think that everybody thinks they can. Sony sells a lot of PlayStations, they really do, but they can't sell them at a loss because they don't have a subscription at this point, and they don't have the games like they did in the second half of their lifespan of the PS4 to cover the loss that they would take on the console. They can't be a loss leader without the software to back it up. And right now they're kind of in reload mode, which is not a great time to take a bath on your console sales.
And that's the thing. Nintendo's never lost a sale or been on the losing end of console sales. You know, they've always sold above cost. So whether or not that $50 extra for the new one is a difference or not, we don't know. But I mean, that could also be the difference between with this day and age, you know, because maybe had we not had COVID, you know, maybe the original Nintendo would have dropped down in price, you know, maybe $50, and the new one would have been in its place. Yeah. But with today's age, maybe there's that extra $50 is a factor that they're not willing to lose because they would cut into their profit. So
yeah, well, it's the worst case scenario because everything is going up, all the products around us. But guess what didn't go up during COVID? Most of our wages, right? So, well, some people gave people, I don't know, a little extra. Was it a COVID bonus for the essential workers working through it? But come on, man, that little whatever they gave people extra certainly wasn't paying for the fact that fucking I go into McDonald's now. It's over $10 for a Big Mac meal. Are you kidding me? Like fucking 20 cents worth of meat in that fucking thing. You can't even call that damn thing a burger anymore. Like, my God.
Yeah.
You know,
I got furloughed and I never got my money for the furlough. Plus, I was eligible for that. United States extra, money grant that they were supposed to give out for that, but because I still hadn't gotten paid, I lost on that extra money too. And I'm, it's been over a year. I hadn't gotten paid for any of it, and I'm still fighting to get mine. Where my coworkers got it within the first week. So there's still that problem. That's not everybody's getting the money that they're supposed to. People are still playing catch up. There's plenty of jobs out there, but nobody's working. So there's obviously something wrong with the system. And then when you look at that and you try to get people into gaming or out of gaming, there's issues there, and why is retro gaming easy? Because a lot of the games that we remember, we can go back into and play right away. Why is Gamepass easy? Because you just, you get a group of games. They sell you the Xbox. You get a month or 3 months trial, right, depending on what they had at that time, and they get you hooked on there. Now, I had all these games and now I got to pay for something. Well, each company is going to go about their way to be able to collect and not, not do you too bad because, you're a customer. You're not their friend, right? We're not, buddies with all these guys, right? They don't care about us. They care about our money. They care about their stockholders. You know what I mean? But they have to have a good face on us. And that's part of the deal is, being plastic with us, keeping us happy, keeps them happy, keeps their stockholders fed.
Yeah. Well, there you have it. All right, guys, we're going to move along with us. We're going to bring in Tony Baloney. I'm not sure if he's on standby or not, but let's get him in here and let's basically close out the show for tonight. We had one more topic, but I think we'll save it for another day. Let get everybody get out of here. The chat's been awesome tonight. So thank you so much for coming out, everybody. And hopefully, like I said, in due time, all this COVID stuff is a distant memory, but I suspect we're going to be balls deep in this one for at least another year. Especially if people don't smarten up and just fucking just do what needs to get done, and let's get this shit over with and just back to fucking living again. So, all righty. Oh, speaking of living, the man who's high in the hog, it is Tony Baloney live and in person.
COVID ain't going no place. It's here forever. Remember that. And let me tell you why. I've been slowly storing it inside of my testicles, seeing that ever since I got that vasectomy, I got it stored in there now. So every time I have an orgasm, guess what? A new COVID starts. This next one's going to be called COVID TB. There you go. Coming to a town near you, folks. Anyhow, enough bullshit. Let's get started over here. First things first. I understand that Noof Nukem plans on rotating his personalities and everything else. Well, let me tell you something. There's only one Tony Baloney, and it's going to stay that way. There ain't going to be no Tony this or Tony that or Tony's sister. She might show up in a couple of Twitter videos or anything like that. But that's a whole other story. Now, Noof, I have a couple things I wanted to get off my chest here. I heard you mention Dead Rising earlier in the show. Let me tell you something. Every time I think of Dead Rising, it sounds like Titan Drago's trying to get an erection. Unbelievable. Yeah. And by the way, another thing, I was looking at what was that? Good Morning Xbox show, and Noof farted in the middle of Axel's bit. Well, let me tell you something, Axel. You know why he farted during your bit? Because everything you say is shit. That's why.
Oh, wow.
By the way, super happy that Titan's not here tonight. Oh, I can stretch out. Feels nice, eh? We break records. We don't have so many thumbs downs. It's wonderful. I don't have to listen to that screeching. You know, Mike Mullet, you actually mentioned that a little bit earlier. You were saying that you were filling in for Titan. It's very difficult. Bullshit. A homeless spider monkey could fill in for Titan Drago. Okay? A homeless spider monkey could fill in Titan Drago. And let me tell you something else. I actually believe they have the same high-pitched voice or squeal or whatever the hell Titan does that he calls talking. Can you imagine that guy being a teacher? Okay, so 2 + 2 is what, Johnny? Can you imagine? The kid's a scarred for life. The guy's got to go to therapy for the next 30 years. And then all of a sudden the therapist says, what the hell's wrong with you? He goes, oh, man, I had this teacher. His name was Titan. I don't know what the fuck is it. I don't know. He screeched like a spider monkey. It was horrifying. Yeah, unbelievable. Oh, and by the way, Dreadpool, you're not off the fucking hit list. Let me tell you something else, okay? The first half of the show, the first 30 minutes, it sounded like you were podcasting from a tin can. It was like, hi, Dreadpool, and, just want to say hi. And I'm like, okay. And then the second half of the show, hey, do me a favor, Dreadpool. Why don't you just podcast from a fucking construction site next time? It's like, Noof asked you a question. So, Dread, what do you think about Xbox Game Pass? Beep, beep. Well, I think that beep. I think that Game Pass. Beep. Beep. Yeah, and I think that Phil Spector. Beep. Beep. Yeah.
The wind tunnel.
Keep it up, Dreadpool. You'll be invited to lots of shows. I'm sure Colin Moriarty will be calling you next. Unbelievable. Anyway,
we got some questions.
Do you have
Tony
any
Baloney?
questions for Tony for this evening?
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
Tony, you didn't even see. I shortened my name for you tonight.
He did. Look at that.
Well, do me a favor, scumbag. Why did you just put NLG? Everybody knows what it means. I bought your T-shirt. Or I didn't buy the T-shirt. You gave it to me. But anyways, I got your T-shirt and it says NLG on it. Why can't you do that to your name? Your little icon there says NLG. It should just say Mike Mullet, NLG. Done. Problem solved.
Yeah, I was going to say you misspelled it.
And by the way, your buddy Fastback there, he's also got a ridiculous name too. Every time I try to get it's like Fastback /_OG this that 3.14 to the power of pi. I'm like, dude, just put fucking Fastback and call it a life. You're old enough. You probably got the name well before everybody else did.
Dreadpool he is at a construction site there, Mag.
Oh, he is? Well,
yes.
Yeah, well, that would
Yeah. The beeping you hear,
he's not
the
home
beeping
today.
you hear are lifts.
Yeah, well, why don't you lift your ass right out of this fucking podcast with all that racket you're making? Any other questions for Tony before I take off?
Your good friend, the doctor, comes in live and hot with $5 and says, Tony B, my girl is going to be in Yegg next week, which is Edmonton. Maybe Safe House Sam can teach her the ass play ways. Does he have a sexual Yoda that taught you?
Let me tell you something. The only thing that taught me sex was not my parents, and it wasn't no sexual education courses that they show now to these kids. These kids come home and tell me all these crazy things. It's ridiculous. 8-year-old kids coming home and going, Daddy, do you know about a clitoris? Of course I know what a clitoris is, but you shouldn't at 8 years old. It's ridiculous. But anyways, let me tell you something. Safe House Sam is not going to show her the ways of anything about ass licking. You know what he's going to do? He's going to licking her ass. So you know what's going to happen? You're still going to have your ass is not going to get licked at all. But she's going to expect you to do it now because you know Safe House Sam is going to bring it to town. And then all of a sudden she's going to go, oh, my God, I've been missing this. And then she's going to make you do it. And you're still going to get nothing. You know why? Because you're a disgusting, deplorable human being. And you need to shape up.
I like to go deep, Tony Blonde. I goes in so deep, I go for the corn, baby.
Well, exactly, okay? Oh,
Is that a Snickers or a Baby Ruth?
easy construction, boy. I didn't hear what you said. What'd you say?
Is that a Snickers or a Baby Ruth?
Very funny. Everybody knows that Snickers is the better one.
It satisfies.
Of course it satisfies. You know what doesn't satisfy me? This. Beep, 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 beep. All right. Any other questions for Tony before I sign off for the evening?
Yes. Any more questions for Tony? Oh, we got one from Iceman. Hey, Tony, what should Noof do about his farting problems?
How could you stop the man? How could you stop that? Whatever the hell is going on? Well, the only thing we got to do is we got to change Noof Nookem's diet. That's the only thing that I could think of because whatever the hell he's eating is obviously not agreeing with his stomach. Lay off the enchiladas, Noof Nookem, okay? Maybe the ass will settle down a little bit. A little bit of cucaracha going on in your pants. It's getting a little bit ridiculous.
Oh, it's nothing like an A&W breakfast, Meg.
Oh, there you go. A&W breakfast. All he's doing is squeezing out grease and whatever the hell, and hash browns and whatever the hell that he put in his system this morning. It's ridiculous. I don't even know how you ride that motorcycle. In fact, I don't even think Noof Nookem puts gas in the motorcycle. I think he just gets on it and farts right out the back and it just shoots him across the highway. It's a good way of saving gas. You don't have to buy electric. Just get Noof Nookem to fart in the outside and they'll just take your car wherever you need to go. Unbelievable. Well,
Yeah.
that sounds like it's it for the evening. So let's just say it's now the midnight hour. So guess what? Tony Baloney's got to get off. I got to go do some things. I got to go do some stuff. Everybody have a great week, and we'll see you all next week.
Yes. Awesome. Tony Baloney, always in fine form, but obviously not quite as riled up as we've seen him in previous weeks. Simply why? Because Titan's not here.
Titan's not here and still pissed him off enough.
And still pissed him off enough. But, you know, Tony's always riled up more when Titan's here, you know. But it's good times, guys. Like I said, we're going to roll the show at that. Chat's been absolutely dynamite. Big thanks again to all of our moderators and our new mods that were appointed tonight, including the Lethal Papa, the Banhammer himself. Yes, we do appreciate that, guys. And luckily on this podcast, more so than many, they don't have to be that diligent here because our chat's been absolutely dynamite 98% of the time. Everybody's just absolutely fantastic. Keeps it real, keeps it respectful. We love you guys. Back from the dead, what's going on, man? Good to see you here. Yes, everybody take care. Z Black Rider, the Donairs, and I've been into some good Donair shops out here. Indeed. Oh, look at that.
I'll jump on for a sec.
The mullet is here. The mag is here.
Huh? Oh, it looks like Noof Nookem farted in his hair. It looks like he got a little wind blowing there.
He blew my toupee right off.
My wife keeps saying it's time for a haircut. I'm like, what? I got to live up to the mullet.
You're even lucky to have that much hair at that age, dude. I started losing my hair at like 19.
Jesus.
Yeah, like the male pattern baldness bullshit. You know, like the little parking spots, like here and here. By 19, that shit was already starting.
Yeah.
That's why he's got a bald cat, so he's not the only one in the house.
Exactly. I don't want to feel left. I don't want to feel left out.
The only problem is it's all turning gray.
That's why you got to buy Just for Men, just like I do for my beard.
That's
Whenever
all right.
I go out with the 19-year-olds when my wife goes to bed, I just put the Just for Men on. And I'm like, yeah, honey, I'm 26.
Just for
All the
men.
wrinkles, that's because I'm a runner.
Couple squirts of the Axe body spray. Huh?
What's that, Noob?
Oh,
I said a
Lord.
couple of squirts of the old Axe body spray.
Exactly. Axe body spray. I just say dude and bro a lot, and then I just that's it. It's all good.
Oh shit. But let's let everybody get out of here tonight, guys. Big thanks to our guests for showing up. Like I said, very last minute, but that's the kind of guys that they are. They saw the bat signal and they jumped in here like the superheroes here in the community. So huge thanks to our good friend from the original Next Level Gaming, Mr.
Yes.
Mike Mullis. Mike,
Yeah.
let people know what you've got coming up, brother.
Let's see. I'm gonna start the Artful Escapes, try to get that stream going sometime this week. But otherwise, it is Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Myself and Brother Peter, Brother Chris, who's in the chat tonight. We head up the NLG show. A couple hours of just talking games, and we spend like the first 90 minutes talking to the chat. So if you're looking for topics these days, it doesn't always happen. So, but yeah, yes, Back from the Dead. Sometime we'll finish Halo 4 as well. And we got a lot of fun Thursday nights at 9. So come check us out.
That's right. Do that, guys. Be there. Be square. Go check them out. All that great content.
All of you guys have been on there.
That's
We'll be
Yes.
on again.
Yes.
That's true. And the man with the brand new logo, breaking bread with our good friend Dreadpool. Dread, let people know what's happening with you, my friend.
As always, thank you for having me on here live from a active construction site. And
I couldn't resist, man. I couldn't resist.
yeah, well, I figured out when they said, was that beeping somebody's girlfriend? I was like, oh, I guess they heard that. So, but no, thanks to everybody in the chat. Sorry I couldn't say hello personally like I usually do. It's I'm actually on the cell phone, so I can't really see the chat and respond. So, but thank you all for showing up. And I'm glad you all like the logo. Like I said, Draven Arrow. So go find De Niro and go get him to make you one too. Only not mine. So anyway, Wednesday nights, Game and Beyond the Box. So tomorrow night at 8 p.m. and Friday mornings, Breakfast with Boom at 10 a.m. And like I said, here, Breaking Bread with Dread on anchor.fm/Dreadpool. So just look it all up. I have Linktree and everything's linked to everything. So wherever you find me, you'll find the other stuff. Yeah. Again, thanks for having me on.
As long as you don't go into the porn industry, because then you have to change your name to Giving Head with Dread.
No.
I wish Tony Maloney thought of that earlier.
Wow, that's a missed opportunity.
It is a minute. I gotta jot that one
You
down.
have to write that one down.
I am.
No, maybe no, 2 maybe, but no, nothing like that. Wife won't let that happen anyway.
No. Getting weird with the beard. There's another one for you. All right. And let's let our amazing panel member. Obviously, you guys know where to find Titan Drago over on Twitter. It's Titan Drago. And as the man that brings the comment back to sense again, he was under the weather tonight, not feeling so good. We always miss him when he's not here, but hopefully he is back in fine form next week. And we know who will also be back in fine form. MAGG.
That's correct. Yes, guys, it was a great show tonight. Mike Mullis, you are a gem. Absolutely adore your show. Dreadpool, you are awesome. I love all the shows that you were on too as well.
Thank you,
you
brother.
guys are great sports. Putting up with my bullshit and Noob's bullshit and whatever else. It's a good time chat. You guys are incredible. All right, here's the spiel. You can catch me on Twitter at The Middle Age Game Guy. That's with a GY at the end, of course. On the Xbox Series X, on the PlayStation 5, and the Oculus Quest 2. You can find me at all one word, all capitals, because I don't know how to be quiet. I am the Mag. That is with 2 Gs. You can find me here every Tuesday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, of course, with Noof Nukem, Titan Drago, and sometimes a special guest like we had tonight. On Gaming After Dark, Monday evenings, you can find me at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with none other than Mr. Boomstick XL and friends on Primetime Gaming. And yes, guys, once again, great show, great guests, great topics. We'll see you all next week.
Yeah. And let me tell you guys, don't sleep on the Oculus Quest 2 if you get a chance to get one. because it's a dynamite little rig. The only downside I've seen so far is just the battery life is absolutely atrocious. It's a good thing the games aren't big and long because you'd never be able to play them for a long time unless you're plugged into a wall outlet or you buy the battery pack, the extra battery pack you can get for them, but it's expensive, so it runs up the price. But man, like playing like we're just playing the golf game. It's called Walkabout Mini Putt Golf.
It's so
And
much
Mag
fun.
got me onto it, and I have no regrets about downloading it. Like last week, it was me, Mag, Graphic God, and Jeepers, and I'm telling you, it's as good as almost being there. Like when you're literally playing this in VR, you literally feel like you're at a golf course with your buddies. Do you not, Mag?
It's so much
it's
fun.
insane because you see the avatars right next to you. They're literally talking. Their motions are replicated on the screen, and the audio is super clear. And then you're
like they're
playing
standing
these
right next to you.
courses. And you're playing these courses that, like, if they existed in real life, they would be like, you would pay good money to play them because they're absolutely nuts. And you literally feel like you're standing like 200 feet on a cliff playing mini putt golf. And you look down, you're like, holy crap, that is nuts. That's the kind of experience. People don't get it, and you never will until you strap one to your face and play it. And it's not, especially in a mini putt golf, it is not nauseating. It's not, there's nothing that should get you like, whoo, like, you know, they've got that figured out. It's a slow pace kind of game, but it's a lot of fun, and I can't recommend it enough.
I'm finding Oculus Quest 2 for like 175 now, like used, and like 150. Like, you know what it is? It's a lot of people bought this stuff during the pandemic and didn't play them. So a lot of people bought them for their kids or whatever. That's how I bought 2 Switches. I bought 2 Nintendo Switches, one for each of my kids. Lights, mind you. They were brand new in the box.
Yeah.
But they were like from soccer moms, like in my neighborhood. And they were like, I bought it for my son for the pandemic and he doesn't even fucking touch it. And so I was just like, done. And like, I got 2 of them for under $300. So,
nice.
Yeah, but I'm not. I don't know about buying used. I don't know about buying used, putting your head in something like that. You can imagine buying the used.
Well, it's not like they're putting it in there. It's
you better sanitize it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
What are they putting their dick inside the goggles? Come on.
I don't know. You guys were talking about a short battery life. You're talking about a short battery life. That puts a new meaning into VR quickie.
Yeah, nice. Let me tell you something quickly before Noof signs off here. The battery thing, I actually disagree with Noof because I got to tell you, man, 2 hours in that thing, and you're like insane when you take the headset off. You don't even know what planet you're on. Like you pull it off, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? Where am I? Like, because you're so lost, because you get lost in these worlds, right? I think the 2 hours is just perfect because it gives you a good time to plug it back in and like take a break. But anyway, that's just me.
Well, you got a point because I mean, most of the games that are on, like I said, they're small in memory size and they're meant to be played in short doses. They don't have a lot of games that you'd want to sit down and play for 8 or 9 hours straight. I think
you go insane.
Crazy. But still, like it would be nice to go like 5 hours without having to charge. Like double that would be great. But I don't know. Like I said, you got to respect what it is. It's a standalone VR. It doesn't run on a power pack. It's not tethered like the PSVR with cords coming out. You don't feel like you're a fucking Borg from Star Trek. You know, like it's just amazing how compact and comfortable and great that little device is. And you can literally take it around any part of your house and fucking set it up and play. Like you just draw the space on the floor and you're ready to go. It's insane. It's like, again, you don't have to be restricted, I'm in this core. It does help if you got at least, like I said, most VRs recommend 6 feet of space, because if you're standing up playing certain games, you are going to be moving about, and they do have a tracking device which tells you immediately if you're too close to hitting something. So if you fucking smack into your own TV, you must be oblivious, because they definitely give you a warning.
It gives you about almost a foot warning. And the other thing is, Noof, is that actually when you're saying about mapping the different rooms in your house, it remembers. So if you go to back, like let's say you're playing in the basement or something, and you go upstairs, and then you go back to the basement like a day later or whatever, you turn it on, it instantly remembers the room because it was already mapped, so it stays in its memory. So you don't have to keep doing that every time. It'll just the grid just shows up and you're ready to rock. So, anyways,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I know I've mentioned it before, but I don't know if I mentioned it on the show here. I did the Halo VR back with the Discovery Outpost. And that was pretty cool for what it was back then, and we had 2 teams of 4 playing Halo in VR, and that was a really weird experience. It was cool, but like I said, it was weird because we weren't full bodies. We were just like upper torsos and kind of an arm and a gun.
Yeah.
They told us not to run. They told us not to do any maneuvers like, tuck and roll or anything like that. But
You can with this though. Do you know that if you play Population 1, it's like a battle royale game for VR, you can it actually tracks from floor to ceiling and all your movements. So for example, if you actually get on one knee, like on a rooftop, you actually physically get down on one knee and then your character goes down on one knee. If you want to be a sniper on a tower, you actually can lie flat on the ground and you will be flat on the ground on the top of a tower with a sniper rifle. So it actually maps the entire body movement from head to toe. It's pretty wild. But anyways.
Yeah, we had that height level too. But like I said, we just go ahead.
I was just going to say to Mag, one of the things, and I definitely can think where movie theaters have really been punished because of the COVID, right? They have a big opportunity to score big time. They should partner with something like Oculus and brings their own virtual movie theaters within the Oculus and charge fees there, because you've seen yourself how cool it is, because it literally feels and looks like you're in an actual movie theater when you watch it.
I can make the screen as large as a Costco.
Yeah.
And I'm like watching and then I put Beats headphones on top because I don't use those 3D audio headphones that they got.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not headphones. It's built right into the headband, right? The sound, which is great. However, it's not loud enough. So what I do is if I watch a movie, I'll put the headphones on and holy shit, it's better than THX. I'll tell you that right now. And then and you're watching on a screen that's like, you can make it almost infinite in size. But anyways,
on the Xbox One back in 2016, you could hook up your VR and do literally that. You can watch or play games in VR, but they wouldn't be VR games.
Right.
Wow.
So,
but anyway. Yeah, if you haven't experienced, it's crazy because me and Mag, we went into that place. Like you go into this one, it's like a theater, and you walk into these different spots, and we're literally sitting on a balcony with our friends and watching like a concert in front of us.
Yeah, it was
and I'm
wild,
thinking
man.
this is like the future of entertainment, especially if COVID continues or things change. Like I would pay money. Could you, like Mag? Wouldn't you like pay a fee like to watch your favorite band like that?
Sure, why not?
Yeah,
I'd imagine you guys walking into Pee Wee Herman.
If it was live, if it was live, it'd be great. And the cool thing is, as we walked around, as you get within 5 feet of people, you can actually start hearing their conversations as if you were in real life. So like you'll see like a group of avatars all standing around talking. So as you walk towards them and walk past them, you hear their conversations of all these other online people, right? So it's unbelievable, man. It's pretty wild. But and of course the doctor was there. It was myself, the doctor, Noof. And then my brother, we were getting drunk watching a concert. It was awesome. But anyways, enough of that.
Yes, we remember before we had said about the outros. This one's gone 10 minutes. That's only because of me. Anyway, I'll make my outro quick. It's Noof Nukem on Twitter. Just go follow me over there. You can find me back here with these amazing people each and every week. Well, at least Meg and these other amazing people will pop in from time to time to be guests on the show. And as always, on Sunday morning with my other cast of characters on Good Morning Xbox. Check out like, subscribe, and comment on the channel. The support is greatly appreciated. The growth has been kind of frustratingly slow, but I'll take what I can get. I'm not here to complain. But it's just sometimes, you get a lot of people that praise the show and, oh, you guys are this and you guys are that. And yet at the same time, it's like, well, why is the channel just growing so fucking slow?
We're having the same problem. There's a lot of us that are having that issue, and I can't put my finger on it either.
Yeah,
there's an influx of channels.
Yeah, but we all have we all have over so many subscribers, and like both of us are sitting at over 1,000 subscribers, both channels, and yet they're not all watching or clicking. So why are you subbed?
Yeah, that's a good point.
You watch on the replay for some people.
Yeah, but
that's true.
Maybe.
Well, like I said, we appreciate everybody. As I've always said, whether you're here for 5 minutes, you're here for the whole show. And sometimes even if you can't watch or listen live, like I said, those retweets and those little things help. They help a lot. You might not think they do, but they do, because you only might have reached out to one or two people. Like, I want to know, there's new people in the chat tonight. Like, how did you find out about the podcast? Did you stumble upon it? Are you following somebody that recommended it? Was it random? These are things I'd like to know, because we have our usuals like Doggy Dog and Timothy Dixon and Spider-Man and a lot of you guys, Jesse Darby. A lot of people are here kind of on a week-to-week basis. But I'm just kind of trying to figure out when the new people are coming in, how are they finding out? Why are they here? Because that's kind of what I want to know. It's just, at the end of the day, I do this for fun. Never did it for money, but it is nice to see the growth. I mean, it's growth for everybody. My channel grows. It grows for Mag, and it grows for Titan, because it's all about exposure. And, something tells you it's only a matter of time before Mag is firing off a lot of content on his channel, and growth here will only help them there. And that goes for all of us, right? Like I said, support is appreciated. Lots of people preach, but not a lot of people teach. You know what I mean? That's the sort of thing. So, but anyway, I'll get out of here. Let you guys get out of here. It's been a dynamite show. Look forward to seeing you back here next Tuesday night, and all that good stuff, guys. So take care of yourselves, please. Again, rest in peace. Condolences to Mojo Blues. Our love and support to Assassin Lupa. Get well, honey, and hope to see you back here real soon. And for everybody getting into the Halo stuff on the weekend, looks like I'm probably going to be able to get in. So somebody send me some invites. I want to go try that stuff, and good stuff, and roll on, play some games. Take care, everybody.
Night.